Chapter 214. Shenrui was very excited. But Qin Suyun did not know why her daughter was so excited. The Xing family is not inviting you to be the CEO. You are just a director. Why are you so happy? My daughter. Mom, I am still young. I don't have much working experience. It is good enough that the Xing family is willing to give me this opportunity. Shenrui did not want her mother to disturb her. Even if she could not see Xingxiao every day, it was better than getting close to Muqiqi. You are the young lady of the Shen family. Why do you always belittle yourself? You should learn from Muqiqi. She is the best when it comes to overestimating herself. Shenrui did not want to listen to her mother's nagging anymore. So, she pushed Qin Suyun out of the room. Mom, I want to take a nap. You should go out now. Why does this child always flatter the Xing family? Qin Suyun was puzzled. So, she recalled Shenrui's behavior from the moment she came back to the family. She tried to get close to Muqiqi and flattered her. Moreover, she flattered Mama Xing last night. She said that she was not interested in the young master of the Lin family. Could it be that her daughter liked the Xing family? Qin Suyun covered her mouth when she thought of the possibility. Then, she pushed the door open again. Mom, what's wrong? Qin Suyun closed the door carefully. She made sure that there was no one around. Then, she asked Shenrui, daughter, tell me honestly. Do you like Xingxiao? Shenrui did not expect that her mother could guess her thoughts. She tried to evade the question. What are you talking about? You are my daughter. Don't I know you well? How could you be interested in such a job normally? But you agreed immediately when Huang Yao asked you to go there. Moreover, you dressed up like a celebrity last night. Who are you trying to flatter? More importantly, I asked you before. Why do you like Muqiqi? Why did you buy her a present? Your target is Xingxiao, isn't it? Shenrui knew that she could not hide it anymore. She pulled Qin Suyun and said, Mom, lower your voice. You are too bold. How dare you dream of becoming the young mistress of the Xing family? Moreover, it is Xingxiao. Don't you know how scary Xingxiao is? Most importantly, you can't let your grandfather know about this. Otherwise, he'll kick you out of the house. Mother, if I marry into the Xing family, do you still need these things from the Xing family? There's no need to care about him at all. So, Mom, help me. Help me get him. But that's Xingxiao. Do you think any random woman can move his heart? Anyway, I can't help you with anything. Qin Suyun was very sure about this. If she was not careful, she would be in trouble. Okay. Actually, I didn't expect you to really help me, but... Mom, please don't interfere with me. Don't stop me from finding my own happiness. Qin Suyun sighed helplessly when she saw the determination in Shenrui's eyes. She could have fallen in love with anyone else. Why did she fall in love with Xingxiao? Did Shenrui not know that he was a devil? Sigh. He's really hopeless. After that, Qin Suyun left her daughter's room. It was because she really could not help Xingxiao. Shenrui could still get close to Xingxiao through work. But what about Qin Suyun? He could only go through Muqiqi, but their relationship now was clearly as incompatible as fire and water. Jing Yun had arranged everything perfectly. That night, Shenrui discussed with Grandpa Shin that she was going to work in Huang Yao. Grandpa Shin felt strange. Why did Jing Yun want to look for Shenrui and not someone else? But he did not object when he saw that Shenrui was in high spirits. Go ahead. It's good to train more. But Grandpa Shin called Jing Yun behind their backs. What's your young master doing? Why did he ask Rui to work in Huang Yao? Old Shin, Miss Roy is a talented person. Moreover, it's Madam's suggestion. It has nothing to do with young master. Jing Yun knew how to push the blame to others. So, he managed to get away with it. Grandpa Shin thought that perhaps Mama Xing wanted to comfort third brother and his family so that Shinroi would not be so sad. Moreover, Shinroi would not be at home often. It would reduce the conflicts in the family. Grandpa Shin did not think about it at all. He even told Shin Jianchuan about it when he went to see him in the afternoon. Shin Jianchuan was not as inflexible as Grandpa Shin. From the situation, he could feel that Shinroi liked Xing Xiao. As for Xing Xiao's action, he did not understand it. If Xing Xiao did not like Shinroi, why did he ask her to work in Huangyao? But, if Xing Xiao liked Shinroi, what would happen to Muqiqi? Young people nowadays are getting more and more incomprehensible. Since you can't understand it, let the young people do it. Shin Jianchuan did not tell Grandpa Shin anything. Don't ask him how he knew about it. Sometimes, the relationship between people did not need to be told. He just wanted to recover as soon as possible and go back to protect his daughter. He did not care if it was Cin Suyun or Shinroi. As long as they bullied his daughter, they must get lost. But, although he could speak now, he was still a disabled person. There was not much he could do to help his daughter. Especially, Muqiqi did not tell him anything. At night, Muqiqi went to the hospital to visit Shin Jianchuan. Seeing that her father was resting, she wanted to leave. But, Shin Jianchuan opened his eyes and looked at his daughter. Chi-Chi, we have known each other for a long time. But, we have not talked to each other properly. Is there something that you should tell me? Is it about the Shin family? If you want to tell me about the meeting with the beautiful aunt 2 days ago. Do you know that Shinroi is going to work in Huangyao? Shin Jianchuan went straight to the point. Muqiqi nodded. Do I have to tell you this? I know. What's wrong? But, my daughter, why are you not sad? Shin Jianchuan looked at Muqiqi and smiled gently. Dad, isn't Xing Xiao your boyfriend? Shin Jianchuan asked tentatively. Muqiqi's eyes widened immediately. Xing Xiao. Actually, it's easy to guess. You have Xing Xiao's name tattooed on your ear. And you said that you have a boyfriend. But, your boyfriend never showed up. Moreover, which boyfriend would tolerate his girlfriend having someone else's name tattooed on her body? Unless, the owner of the name is your boyfriend. Actually, there are too many clues. Why don't you go back to the Shin family? Why do you insist on staying outside? Why do you prefer to rely on Xing Xiao instead of trusting your family? Although Xing Xiao often uses Jing Yun as a shield, I've heard from your grandfather that he would defend you in all sorts of situations. Chapter 215. Shin Jianchuan was really smart. He was good at observing people's expressions and deducing their thoughts. But, his prediction was so accurate. Muqiqi lowered her head after listening to Shin Jianchuan. She asked, Father. Do you know? When I was the most helpless in my life, it was Xiao Xiao who pulled me back, gave me a new home, and taught me how to fight back against the world bit by bit. So, I can't help liking such a person. I used to think that I was biting the hand that fed me. I fell in love with my savior. I knew that there were many obstacles between us. I knew it. Do you think I didn't restrain myself? I've thought about it, but when I found out that Xiao Xiao knew everything and yet he still loved me so much, I couldn't help myself anymore. Muqiqi could not help tearing up at that. It was only after that I found out about my birth and my identity. But Xiao Xiao and I are inseparable now. Shin Jianchuan wanted to wipe Muqiqi's tears away. She was his beloved daughter. Silly girl, you can tell me if you feel uncomfortable. I know how it feels to grow old with someone. Are you afraid that I will interfere with you? I am afraid. Mu Chi said honestly. After all, Xiao Xiao and I are in different generations. To your father, seniority is the most useless thing. As long as that brat treats you well, as long as he truly doesn't let go of my daughter's hand, even if I have to risk my life, I will make my daughter happy. Father. Mu Chi threw herself into Shen Jinchuan's arms and cried. So, tell me. What happened to Shenrui? Mu Chi was done crying. She poked her head out of Shen Jinchuan's arms and said, it was Xiao Xiao's plan. He knew that Shenrui was interested in him. So, he arranged Shenrui to work in Huangyao. Then, he put on a show so that Shenrui would give up. Don't worry. Shenrui's department will never have the chance to see Xiao Xiao. If this bastard dares to hurt you, I will kill him. He won't. I owe him all this while. He loves me so much. But, I can't give him anything. Silly girl, you can give him happiness. He is the crown prince of Huangyao. He has everything. But, what he lacks is the happiness you can bring him. That night, the father and daughter talked a lot. And Shen Jianchuan could really understand why Mu Chi would have feelings for Xing Xiao. It was love at 18 years old. In the past, he would not have believed it. But today, seeing his daughter so determined, maybe there would be a miracle. Of course, Xing Xiao was the one who made him look at him in a different light. A man who owned a diamond empire could have any woman he wanted. But, he loved and cared for a little girl. Sometimes, fate was a strange thing. Dad, Father, I thank you for supporting me. You made me. Joe, the father and daughter looked at each other and smiled. They were one step closer to each other. After the heavy topic was over, Shen Jianchuan told a few jokes to make Mu Chi happy. In the future, his most important task was to protect his daughter's happiness. When they walked out of the hospital, Mu Chi was a little dazed. She did not hear Xing Xiao honking the horn a few times. So, Xing Xiao got out of the car and dragged her into the black car. What are you daydreaming about? Dad has long guessed our relationship. Mu Chi looked up at him and said, he didn't blame me. Instead, he encouraged me to pursue my own happiness. Your father is a person who is out of line, and he's so devoted to his daughter. It's not surprising that he would support you. Xing Xiao glanced at her, a hint of a smile flashing across his eyes. You don't seem surprised that he knows about this. He'll find out sooner or later. With that, Xing Xiao started the car and brought the little one home. After listening, Mu Chi could not help but sigh. This was the world of smart people. Everything was understood without words. Shenrui will report to Huangyao tomorrow. Oh. Mu Chi did not say anything else. That's it. She's not going there to enjoy herself. Should I have a bigger reaction? Mu Chi asked Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao pulled her and chuckled. He should not have a bigger reaction. He might have gone overboard when he teased Shenrui. He just wanted the little one to watch the fun. Shenrui was excited for the whole night. Although Cin Suyun thought that her daughter was digging her own grave. The next morning, Shenrui woke up early and tidied herself up. Then, she reported to Huangyao on time. At the same time, Shenrui heard many people saying that they saw the crown prince. But, no one knew where Xing Xiao was. Shenrui would be excited when she heard Xing Xiao's name. So, even if she could not see him on the first day, she felt that it was worth it to come to Huangyao. Xing Xiao entered the office from the elevator. He could not help but ask Jing Yun about Shenrui. She has reported to the office. Now, the personnel are showing her around. Xing Xiao's lips curled into a smile, and there was a hint of a teasing demon in his eyes. I can give her some big news today. Okay. I'll go and arrange it now. But, Shenrui would not know how she would feel when she found out that everything was fake in the future. The personnel manager accompanied Shenrui around the office. After he received a call, he said to Shenrui mysteriously, "Since you're a new colleague, I'll tell you something. The department you're working in is the most likely department for the Crown Prince. I heard that the Crown Prince likes the girls in your department the most." What? What do you mean? Didn't you say that the Crown Prince is not interested in women? He is not interested in women. But, he is a pervert. Don't you know? He likes to play games. He always sends the girls to the hospital. Shenrui did not believe it. It was definitely not Xing Xiao. She did not believe in the gossip in the company. But, in fact, the department had created such an atmosphere to welcome her. You still don't believe it. You'll know when you see it with your own eyes. Some girls even lost their fingers. When they came out of the Crown Prince's office, their hands were covered in blood. Shenrui was not affected. She felt that those people were exaggerating. At least, in her heart, Xing Xiao had always been so elegant and charming. Although the people said that he was a devil, she still wanted to conquer such a man. Because Xing Xiao was really outstanding. Chapter 216. She was a member of the Shen family. She was not afraid of those rumors. After Shenrui started working in Huangyao, Cin Suyun started to think in a new direction. It was because she felt that her daughter was right. If Shenrui really succeeded and got Xing Xiao's favor, she would become the young mistress of Huangyao. By then, her daughter would have the final say on how many diamonds and jewelry she wanted. So, she felt that Shenrui's idea might not be that crazy. But what could she do for Shenrui? Although she was unwilling, she could only apologize to Muqiqi and admit that she was wrong if she really needed Muqiqi's help. After all, her daughter's future was more important. As for those bastards, she could tolerate them for the time being. But she did not know that Muqiqi could tolerate all the things that she did to Muqiqi in the past. But now, the mother and daughter actually wanted to hurt Xiao Xiao. That was her bottom line. She would not allow them to give in. 2 days later, Muqiqi went back to the Shen family for dinner. This time, when Cin Suyun saw Muqiqi again, she did not look at her with hostility anymore. But, she felt a little awkward. She had been tolerating it for the whole night. When the dinner was almost over, she could not help but say to Muqiqi, "Qiqi, do you know that Sister Rui is working in Huangyao now?" "Why? Are you trying to show off?" Muqiqi put down her chopsticks and asked Cin Suyun. "I just want to say that if you meet Xing Xiao, please take care of your sister. I was wondering why her attitude changed so much today. Qiqi, it turns out that she has a favor to ask of you." Huang Yu could not help but cross her arms when she saw that. "Cin Suyun, do you really think that everyone in the world is your mother? You can do whatever you want. Everyone has to bow down to you and your daughter. Qiqi, you don't have to care about her." Shenrui was much more courageous. Because she believed that as long as she continued to work in Huangyao, she did not need to flatter Muqiqi so much. "Mom, I don't need anyone's help for my own matters. Moreover, she is an outsider. How can she help us? Have you forgotten all the previous examples? When I came back, I brought her so many gifts. Did she accept my kindness?" Now that Cin Suyun had restrained herself, Shenrui was being mean again. Did this mother and daughter exchange souls? He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It was because Shinrui knew that Muchichi was useless now and she was blocking her way. So, she did not give her any face. But, I can handle the matters in the company. But, Muchichi, please call me sister the next time you see me. We can't forget the rules. After all, I'm the eldest sister of the Shin family. I'm done eating. Please enjoy your meal. Then, Shinrui left the table and went to her room. Everyone, please enjoy. Then, Shinrui left the table and went to her room. Sun Suyun chased after him too. The rest of them were confused. Is there something wrong with this mother and daughter? Huang Yu kicked the ladder. But Muchichi could understand what the mother and daughter were trying to do. Judging from Shinrui's attitude, did she really think that she could become a phoenix? She would not object if it was anyone else in the Xing family, but not Xing Xiao. Chi-Chi, can you tell me why Xing Xiao wants Shinrui to work in Huangyao? It's nothing good. Second aunt, please keep it a secret. Muchichi whispered to Huang Yu. Huang Yu nodded and laughed. Then, I'll wait for the show. Now, Shinrui is so arrogant. Does she really think that she is a part of the Xing family now? Muchichi did not say anything. She just did not know how long Shinrui could stay in Huangyao. That night, Muchichi went home. She took a shower with Xing Xiao and was about to sleep. But, Qianqian called her before she went to bed. She sounded excited. Chi-Chi, I have good news for you. I'm not going abroad anymore. I'm going to film. Film. Muchichi never thought that Lu Qianqian would want to be a star. She felt that she was too far away from that circle. My father's friend runs a film company. He thinks that I look good. So, he asked me to audition. Since you like it, I'll support you. But, I'm worried that didn't those stars have their dark spots exposed before? Nowadays, people often bullied each other on the internet. She did not want her best friend to get hurt. Don't worry. My agent will take care of it. Qianqian needed something else to divert her attention. Muchichi understood the pain that Duan Xiao and brought to her. Since she wanted to be a star, she should go. Remember to give me your autograph when you become famous. Of course. You are my best friend. Lu Qianqian was very excited. After the call with Muchichi, she received a call from her agent. It was so late. Her agent was really responsible. Her agent gave her a lot of information. Although it was just a supporting role, she needed to understand the whole story as soon as possible. Moreover, she sent her a book list. These are all the works of this author. Take a look when you are free. Lu Qianqian looked at the titles of the books. She almost rolled her eyes. Men Never Grow Old, Casanova. She flipped through them casually. They were all about flirting with girls. Were they for others to read? Then, Lu Qianqian looked at the name of his family. Lin Muohan. What kind of rubbish man was that? Did he treat women as toys? Could the script he wrote be made into a TV series? Lu Qianqian was very disappointed with men because of Duan Xiaovan. Now, she still had to read Lin Muohan's rubbish literature. No wonder there was an N in it. She must not see this man. Otherwise, she would kick his balls. She did not know that this was the beginning of an ill-fated relationship. She would never remember that the two of them had met once. It was not long ago, when they went shopping together in the afternoon. On the other side, Xing Xiao saw Muchichi staring at her phone. He asked her, "Is Lu Qianqian going to shoot a movie?" "Yes. That's why I am worried about her. What if her past is dug out? Won't she be hurt a second time?" Muchichi replied in Xing Xiao's arms. Why can't she do something else? I don't know what Qian is thinking. This is the era of making stars. There is nothing that cannot be done. You are thinking too much. Moreover, the Liu family is rich. You don't need to worry about her. Qian is my only friend. I am sad to see her hurt. What is the name of the movie she is going to shoot? I will ask Jingyun to keep an eye on it. It is called Reuniting the Mirror or something. I will check it online. After that, Mu Chichi took out her phone. After a while, she suddenly sat up on the bed and looked at Xing Xiao. What is it? The scriptwriter and author is Lin Muven. Mu Chichi looked at Xing Xiao with a strange expression. Chapter 217. In fact, Lin Muven was a man with a very high EQ. Because of his good looks, he had a good relationship with women since he was young. That was why he was proud of himself in love. As long as he made a move, there was no woman he could not get. Of course, he had his own bottom line when he was in love. For example, he would not touch his brother's women, mistresses, or even married men. It was also because of his rich emotional experience that he had written many best-selling books. Currently, he was the most popular male author in the poll. In fact, he did not know that Liu Qian would be in the cast before he got the list. But when he saw the recommendation from the film company, he was stunned. Was she a sponsor? I don't think so. Lin Muven refused. But, Editor Lin, she is recommended by an investor. It's hard for us. I said no. Although he liked dating, he was clear about his work and private life. Liu Qian was a rich young lady. How dare she audition without any foundation? Who gave her the courage? Then you should talk to the investor. Liu Qian was furious when she received the news that she was rejected the next day. The scriptwriter did not want her. Other scriptwriters might not have the right to speak when it came to casting. But now, Lin Muven was popular and his words carried weight. Moreover, it was an adaptation of his novel. The investor had to give him some face. So, Liu Qian was very angry. After asking around, she got Lin Muven's phone number from Papa Liu. Holding the phone, Liu Qian dialed the annoying number. I'm Liu Qian, what can I do for you, Miss Liu? I know you changed my role. I'm not happy with you and want to beat you up. Liu Qian said as if venting. You scumbag who writes rubbish literature. You're so shrewd. Didn't you learn your lesson after being hurt so badly? Lin Muven was smiling from beginning to end. But every word he said made Liu Qian very angry. I didn't learn it. That's why I want to act in a movie to divert my attention. I'm really interested in acting. Lin Muven smiled and asked her, there's a role of a palace maid. Do you want it? And there's a spy movie that needs a lot of corpses. I want to be your mother. Will you let me? Liu Qian asked through gritted teeth. TSK. If you really want to divert your attention, I have a good job for you. Come and be my assistant. I promise you'll forget everything. Lin Muven, just you wait. After that, Liu Qian hung up the phone. This scum. She must take revenge on him. Lin Muven, on the other hand, was laughing from the start to the end. This girl was actually quite interesting. If anyone else was replaced, the first thing they would do would be to call him either to fight for it or to threaten him. But this girl didn't pester him. She just called him and scolded him to vent her anger. After hanging up, Liu Qian recalled that Mu Chichi mentioned that she went to the Lin family's birthday banquet. Moreover, when she went shopping with Mu Chichi, she seemed to have seen a man at the entrance of the hotel. At that time, she thought that Mu Chichi had abandoned the crown prince. But Mu Chichi told her that it was the young master of the Lin family. Damn, enemies are bound to meet. Thinking of that face, Lu Qianqian immediately became excited and called Mu Chichi. Chichi, do you know Lin Muhan? Mu Chichi had just finished her class. When she heard Lu Qianqian mention this name, she knew that the two of them must have known each other's existence. Why did you suddenly mention him? Let me tell you, we are enemies. I must destroy him, because he destroyed my beautiful stardom. Can you help me ask him out? Qianqian, are you sure? Do you know that Lin Muhan is a Casanova? Pa! You're afraid that I'll like him. Even if I fell in love with a pig, I would never fall in love with him. He's trash. Qianqian, he and I don't have any grudges. Isn't it a little strange for me to ask him out to vent your anger? Just tell him honestly that I want to see him. It's up to him whether he wants to come or not. She knew Qianqian's temper very well. The firecracker would explode sooner or later. Qianqian had only been a coward when it came to Duan Xiao, and after some thought, Mu Chichi agreed. All right. I'll let you know later. If Xiao Xiao knew that she was going to meet a man alone, wouldn't he smack her butt until it was swollen? So, Mu Chichi just threw the matter to the man. Anyway, if it was Xing Xiao who asked her out, Lin Muhan could not refuse. Lin Muhan received a call from Huang Yao in the afternoon. Jing Yun told him everything in a few words. Lin Muhan did not refuse. Their conversation only lasted for 2 minutes. Then, Mu Chichi replied to Lu Qianqian and asked her to meet him at the Imperial Hotel at noon tomorrow. In fact, Lin Muhan did not need to care about Lu Qianqian's unreasonable request. Even Jing Yun said that he was bored. But, Lin Muhan felt that Lu Qianqian was a very interesting girl. At least, he did not reject her in terms of feelings. Since Lu Qianqian wanted to go, Mu Chichi certainly had to accompany her. And since Mu Chichi was there, Xing Xiao naturally had to show up. His little one was going to meet another man. How could he not follow her? He hated the kind of person who pretended to be generous and told his or her partner that he or she believed her. But in fact, it meant that he or she doubted her. If she minded, he could just accompany her. Why be so pretentious? After a few days of getting used to the new department, Shen Ruoyi had a thorough understanding of the situation in the new department. It was like a center of gossip. There were many rumors about Xing Xiao. Some of them were true, and some were false. She did not know whether she should believe them or not. It was because she could not verify those rumors. But, the only thing she knew was that she knew where Xing Xiao's office was in Huangyao. She wanted to go in and see if Xing Xiao was involved in those scandals. Shen Ruoyi wanted to take action when she had this idea in her mind. Especially in the past 2 days, the idea was very strong. First of all, she had to choose a time when she would not meet Xing Xiao. Secondly, she had to get the access card to enter the office. That was the state of being obsessed with someone. She wanted to know more about him. Even if she could only get a little closer to him, she would be very happy. Mama Xing had been observing Shen Ruoyi these days. And Jing Yun was right. Shen Ruoyi had been asking about Xing Xiao everywhere. It was difficult for her not to attract attention. But, if Xiao Er liked her, he would not think of such a way to deal with her. She was the junior of the Shen family after all. She had to be careful when dealing with her. Chapter 218. On the other hand, Shen Ruoyi's every move was under Jing Yun's surveillance. He knew very well who Shen Ruoyi was in contact with in Huangyao and what she wanted. He knew that Shen Ruoyi was messing with Xing Xiao's office. Getting close to the person you like, isn't it to confirm whether he has a woman or not? They might be able to find some clues in Xing Xiao's office. If that was the case, he would definitely arrange a good show for Shinrui. He purposely helped Shinrui find the cleaner who was responsible for cleaning the office area. Then, he successfully got the access card. It was also an opportunity for Shinrui to enter Xing Zhao's office. It was already 10:00 at night. All the employees of Huang Yao had left work, but Shinrui was still working hard. When she was sure that there was no one around, she disguised herself as a cleaner and went to the high-rise area openly. Of course, the important offices were all locked, but Xing Zhao's office was not. Because he never put his important things in his office, and he rarely used them. When Shinrui entered the modern space, she could feel Xing Zhao's aura everywhere. She sat on the sofa that Xing Zhao had sat on and picked up the cup that Xing Zhao had used. Her heart was filled with excitement. But at that moment, Shinrui heard a scream. It was a woman's voice. She was so scared that her face turned pale. Then, Shinrui noticed that it was the private lounge in Xing Zhao's office. She could hear a woman's voice and a man's devilish teasing. Shinrui was so nervous that she had goosebumps all over her body. She immediately left Xing Zhao's office. She did not care about her image at all. She ran as fast as she could. In fact, Jing Yun was watching a thriller in the lounge, and purposely turned the volume to the loudest. He thought that Shinrui was brave. In the end, she was terrified. Shinrui went home in a daze. She locked herself in her room after she got home. She could not believe that she saw Xing Zhao fooling around with a woman. Cin Suyun noticed that her daughter did not even have an appetite for dinner. So, she asked her what happened. Shinrui shook her head. She did not say anything. After all, she was no longer sure what attitude she had towards him. The next day, as expected, there was a new scandal in the office. I heard that after you got off work last night, an ambulance came again. That's right. I heard that this time, the girl's body was covered in many bloody wounds. It scared me to death. I've always heard that the Crown Prince plays big, but I didn't expect him to treat people like that. Shinrui's facial expression changed when she heard that. It was because she suddenly remembered what happened yesterday. The woman's scream was still echoing in her head. Director Shin, why do you look so pale? Shinrui shook her head when she heard her colleague's question. Maybe he did not rest well. Was Xing Zhao really a demon who ate people without spitting out the bones? If that was the case, should she consider giving up? If she insisted on marrying into the Xing family, would Xing Zhao treat her like this in the future? Even if Xing Zhao could restrain himself from doing anything to her, could she tolerate him toying with other girls? Shinrui was in a dilemma. But she was not willing to give up. So, she decided to go and see what was going on at night. Mama Xing knew that Xing Zhao was trying to ruin his image. So, she said to him before the meeting, if you really don't want to get into trouble, I can help you to get rid of her. Mom, if you really want to make a person give up, you must make her feel fear. How long do you think she can hold on? Xing Zhao answered Mama Xing while playing with the cufflink in his hand. Since he moved out of the Xing family, this cufflink had become the most valuable thing in Xing Zhao's office. Who the hell gave this to me? You treasure it so much. If you give me such a simple thing, I will treasure it too. Xing Zhao smiled and put the cufflink back into the drawer. Don't drag this matter any longer. Otherwise, it will backfire. I know what I'm doing. Of course, it was Shao Qi's gift. That was why he treasured it so much. Mama Xing looked at her son helplessly. Suddenly, she felt sorry for Shinrui. She was such a good girl. Why did she have to fall in love with him? Now, even if she was not scared to death, she would be half dead. When Muchichi was at home, she did not ask about Shinrui. It was because she was too lazy to do it. As long as they were at home, she and Xing Xiao would stick together no matter what they did. Moreover, Xing Xiao was an energetic guy. He would put on a show in every corner of the house from time to time. She was already very tired from the classes in the morning. She could not sleep well at night. It was strange that she had the energy to care about Shenrui. Since Xing Xiao said that he would take care of it, she would let him do it. At noon, Mu Qiqi invited Lu Qianqian and Lin Muhan for lunch. From the moment they met, Lu Qianqian's eyes were filled with sparks. She wanted to swallow Lin Muhan. On the other hand, Lin Muhan was smiling. He sat opposite Lu Qianqian elegantly. Xing Xiao was the last to arrive. He sat beside Mu Qiqi and put his arm on her chair. He was very possessive. The two of them won't fight, will they? Lu Qianqian is no match for him. Xing Xiao answered his little one in a low voice. Lin Muhan was a third-generation heir. It was not difficult for him to capture him. Miss Lu, am I so beautiful that you can't take your eyes off me? Lin Muhan did not stay idle. He teased Lu Qianqian. Lu Qianqian slammed the table and stood up. She pointed at Lin Muhan. How did I offend you? Why do you want to replace me? You don't know how to act. But you are just a pretty face now. That was what annoyed Lu Qianqian the most. He was just fooling around with her. Because she is talented in acting. I am talented in beating people up. Besides, the entertainment industry isn't a place that just anyone can enter. The price of becoming famous is losing a lot of things: your privacy, your personal space, and most importantly, your past will be dug up. Do you think that your past will be accepted by everyone? It is fine if you are 26 or 36 years old. But you are only 18. You were abandoned when you were only 18. This circle is not suitable for you. After hearing Lin Muhan's words, Lu Qianqian sat down. But her eyes were red. Is it my fault? You are not wrong. But that is not the mainstream value. You can do anything. But don't become a celebrity. You are cute and beautiful. Ah. Mu Qiqi suddenly understood what Lin Muhan meant. Actually, this man had the same thought as her. He did not want Qianqian to be hurt. Chapter 219. Don't think too highly of yourself. Lu Qianqian had actually accepted his kindness. But she still felt embarrassed. I am the eldest daughter of the Lu family. How could I be replaced by you just like that? That's a disgrace. Look at you. You are just a little pepper. You don't appreciate others' kindness, do you? Who asked you to be a busybody? By the way, what kind of rubbish literature are you writing? Do you think advocating men is in line with the mainstream values? Seeing that Lu Qianqian had done her homework well, Lin Muhan bent over and rested his head on the table. Then, he hooked his finger at Lu Qianqian. Why don't you come to my house one day? Let me tell you what values I'm advocating. This man was really flirtatious. But Lu Qianqian was not someone to be trifled with. She grabbed Lin Muhan's finger and twisted it. I really want to make an appointment with you to have a hand-to-hand fight at the martial arts center. That's settled then. Give me your number. I'm free anytime, who's afraid of you? Lu Qianqian immediately took out her phone. Lin Muhan calmly told her his number. Then, they exchanged each other's number. And Mu Qiqi just leaned on the table and watched the show from the beginning. Xing Xiao even pulled her up. Seems like I don't need your help next time. Mu Qiqi held back her laughter and let them fight in the private room. Why do I feel like there are pink bubbles above their heads? It's none of your business, Xing Xiao said proudly. Then, he led her away. Jing Yun will come and send you to Xingting University later. I still have something to do. Speaking of Jing Yun, Mu Chi-Chi could not help but ask, Special Assistant Jing, do you have a girlfriend? Xing Xiao shook his head. He's just a piece of rotten wood. He doesn't seem to be interested in this kind of thing. As if. Believe it or not, although Jing Yun looks like an idiot when it comes to relationships, people like him are usually very affectionate. Maybe he has someone in his heart. Xing Xiao tilted his head and looked at his little one. Jing Yun is under your control now. How can you be jealous? Mu En was not as bad as she thought. Although he had a lot of girlfriends, it did not stop him from being a good person. Mu En was not as bad as she thought he was. Although he had a lot of girlfriends, it did not stop him from being a good person. Moreover, Qian did not look like someone who would suffer a loss. After the incident with Duan Xiao, she was very cautious when it came to relationships. Therefore, there was no need to worry at all. In short, when Lu Qian and Lin Mu En left the hotel that afternoon, they glared at each other. Especially Lu Qian. She could not wait to strangle the man who ruined her career. Although she knew that her past would be very ugly if it was dug out, it would be very embarrassing. However, a playboy like Lin Mu En was incomparably infuriating. At around 9:00 that night, Mu Chi-Chi received a call from Huang Yu in the small villa. Huang Yu rarely took the initiative to call her, and at this time, Mu Chi-Chi immediately picked up because she guessed that something must have happened at home. Chi-Chi, if you are free now, please go home. I'm afraid that Grandpa Shin's body can't take it anymore. What's wrong? Mu Chi-Chi asked quickly. It's all because of third brother and his family. Shin Ruoi has caused a big trouble. Anyway, please come home quickly. At this moment, Su Zipei, her husband and Xing Xiao were beside Mu Chi-Chi. They heard Huang Yu's voice from the phone. So, Su Zipei said to Mu Chi-Chi, go. Let's go. Xing Xiao grabbed Mu Chi-Chi's collar and brought her back to the Shin family. You know something, don't you? On the way back, Mu Chi-Chi asked Xing Xiao. Since it was about Shin Ruoi and it was a big matter, it should be the truth. Shin Ruoi's secret could not be hidden anymore. You can see what Grandpa Shin thinks about this matter now. In the dark, Xing Xiao helped Mu Chi-Chi unfasten the seatbelt and reminded her. Mu Chi-Chi was stunned. She did not know what to do. But after a while, she pushed the door open and went to the living room of the Shin family. At this moment, Mama Xing was still in the Shin family. Shin Ruoi was kneeling in the living room. Grandpa Shin was holding a wooden stick in his hand. It seemed that he was very angry. Chi-Chi. Huang Yu pulled her to her side quickly. She was afraid that she would be hurt. What's wrong? It turns out that this girl has an ulterior motive for working in Huang Yao. She has sneaked into Xing Zhao's office several times. Didn't she run into him tonight? She was caught red-handed. So, when your beautiful aunt sent her back, Grandpa Shin interrogated her carefully. Then, he found out that she has a crush on Xing Xiao. He is her uncle. Xiao Qin, it's my fault for not teaching her well. That's why such a scandal happened. I'm so sorry. Grandpa Shin, I don't want to talk about anything else. I just hope that Rui can take out Xing Zhao's cufflinks. They are his most precious thing. Mama Xing looked at Shin Rui who was kneeling on the floor. I saw it with my own eyes. She put it in her coat pocket. Huang Yu, go and take it out. Grandpa Shin ordered. But Qin Suyun was protecting Shin Rui. She did not let anyone touch it. Don't come near me. It's just a broken thing. It's not worth it for you to force it. Then, Tsun Suyun took out the cufflinks from Shinruoi's coat pocket. But, she threw it into the fish tank. Mu Chichi looked at it and realized that it was the gift she gave to Xiao Xiao. So, she did not care about anything else. She reached out her hand to grab it. But, Huang Yu stopped her. Silly girl, there's electricity here. Let me help you. Mu Chichi got the cufflinks with Huang Yu's help. Then, she gave it to Mama Xing. Auntie. Here you go. Mama Xing took back the cufflinks and looked at Mu Chichi. Good girl. Xiao Qin, I'm really sorry. I've caused you trouble. Grandpa Shen, since it's a family matter of the Shen family, I should go back now. Rui is still young. I hope that she can learn her lesson. She should think carefully before she does anything. Then, Mama Xing hugged Mu Chichi. I'll come and see you some other day. Mu Chichi nodded. Then, she sent a message to Xing Xiao. Beautiful auntie, I'll definitely come and see you. Xing Xiao did not ask why. He quickly went back to the villa that Mama Xing prepared for him. Now, it was time to close the door. Grandpa Shen was mad. He hit Shinruoi with a stick without any mercy. Where's the sense of honor that I've taught you since you were young? Do you like your uncle? Chapter 220. Tsun Suyun went crazy too. She went forward and hugged Shinruoi. She refuted Grandpa Shen. What's wrong with liking Xing Xiao? Is he an emperor or something? Why can't you like him? So what if he's her uncle? They are not related by blood. Moreover, Xing Xiao is only 5 years older than Rui. Why can't I like him? It's because of a mother like you that she can raise such a daughter. Look at what she did. She went to work in someone else's company. But, she sneaked into someone else's office and stole their things. Shinruoi, tell me, who taught you to do that? That's right. Shinruoi looked at the floor. She looked embarrassed. Actually, she was speechless. Because she did not expect that Mama Xing would enter the office and see her looking through Xing Zhao's things. She didn't know what had bewitched her to do such a shameful thing. She still hadn't recovered from it. Say something. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I've embarrassed you. Are you trying to embarrass me? You're embarrassing yourself. You're the young lady of the Shen family. What will you do if others know that you've done such a shameless thing? Do you still want your reputation? I've given up. I don't want to think about anything anymore. What else do you want? Can't you see the Xing family's attitude? They don't like you at all. Grandpa Shen was furious. He hit Shinruoi a few more times. Then, he threw away the things in his hand. From today onwards, you should stay at home and reflect on yourself. You're not allowed to go out for a month. You can tell me when you've made up your mind. Shinruoi was lying in Tsun Suyun's arms. She did not have the strength to talk anymore. There was blood at the corner of her mouth. Tsun Suyun was so scared that she screamed. Rui, my daughter. Rui, what should I do if anything happens to you? Send her to the hospital now. Huang Yu urged her. Old woman, you're so cruel. When Mu Chichi saw this scene, she seemed to see herself in the future. Perhaps, she was even worse than Shinruoi because she had lived with Xiao Xiao for a long time. Moreover, she could feel that her grandpa loved her more. If, with that in mind, Mu Chichi walked to the old man and stroked his back to comfort him. Grandpa, your health is important. What kind of nonsense is this? Grandpa Xing was utterly disappointed. Chichi, do the youngsters these days really not care about seniority? However, these rules have been established for so many years. Are we going to throw them away just like that? Grandpa, Forget it. I'm tired. I'm going back to my room. You can go home now. Grandpa Shin was sad and angry. It was because he had praised Shinroi for being sensible 2 days ago. But now, the granddaughter he was so proud of had done such a thing. How could he not be angry? Muchichi did not dare to follow. Her feet seemed to be fixed in place, and she could not move at all. Tsun Suyun quickly sent Shinroi to the hospital. At that moment, the Shin family was as empty as Muchichi's heart. After leaving the Shin family, Muchichi took a taxi back to Xing Xiao's house. But Xing Xiao was still dealing with Mama Xing. It seemed that it was too difficult for Grandpa Xing to accept this. It was just as Muchichi expected. Mama Xing did use the cufflinks as an excuse to see her son. She thought that Xing Xiao was not at home again. But when she entered the house, she found out that Xing Xiao had just taken a shower and was about to rest. Son, look at what I've given you. Xing Xiao took a look and found out that it was the cufflinks that Xiao Qi gave him. Shenrui almost took it away today. I saw it. So, I went to the Shin family and got it back for you. Xing Xiao took the cufflinks from Mama Xing and raised them up high. He looked at them under the light. Then, he said to Mama Xing, Mom, do you hate Shinrui? You hate her. That's why I don't like her. Mama Xing explained. Actually, she hates you the most when she takes your things. I know that you treasure them very much. So, I'm angry. Xing Xiao smiled and kept the cufflinks. Then, he hugged Mama Xing. Oh, it's so rare. Actually, Xing Xiao was just apologizing in advance. It was because he would never give up on Xiao Qi. So, he was apologizing. Xing Xiao, who gave you this? I'll tell you next time. It's late now. I'll send you home to rest. It's okay. I drove here. Mama Xing held Xing Xiao. Go to sleep. I'm leaving. After a while, Mama Xing left the villa. Xing Xiao took his coat and went back to his house with Muchichi. When he entered the house, he saw Muchichi sitting on the sofa without saying a word. He frowned. But, it only lasted for a second. Then, he sat down beside Muchichi and asked, since it's so difficult, why don't you give up? Muchichi raised her head and looked at Xing Xiao in shock. What did you say? I thought you couldn't bear to hurt your grandfather. Muchichi quickly put her arms around Xing Xiao's neck and shook her head. I don't want to. I can do anything to atone for my sins. But, I will never leave you. Xing Xiao was satisfied. He hugged Muchichi tightly. It's different today. Moreover, my mother intervened on purpose. It's normal for Grandpa Xing to be angry. What about beautiful aunt? Little one, I can't tell you the answer now. Because I won't lie to you. You should have thought of these things before you got together with me. So, no matter how difficult it is, what's the use of being afraid? Solve it and overcome it. That's the end. Muchichi thought about it. It seemed like that was the case. She felt a little relieved. Give me some time. I'm scared by Grandpa's reaction. But I will never give up on you. Even if Grandpa beats me to death. Silly thing, do you think I'll watch as others touch a single hair on your head? Having said that, Xing Xiao carried Muchichi to the bathroom. He wrung a hot towel and wiped her face. Do you know why my mother is so angry? What is it? Xing Xiao handed the towel to Muchichi. Then, he took out a cufflink from his shirt pocket. Because of this. Just now, Third Aunt threw it into the fish tank at the Shin's house. I was anxious and reached out to catch it. Mu Qiqi took the cufflink from Xing Zhao's hand. She was very emotional. I didn't expect you to treasure such a little thing so much. Chapter 221. Grandpa Xin sent Shenrui to the hospital. She was grounded for a month after she returned home. Grandpa Shen was serious this time. He was not joking at all. It seemed that he was really angry. Cin Suyun was taking care of Shenrui. She was so angry when she saw her daughter like that. That old man is really inhumane. He is so cruel. Just wait and see. If Mu Qiqi does something wrong, he will not treat her like this. She is easy to bully. Mom. I want to give up now. I don't have the face to see the Xing family anymore. Shenrui sat on the bed and said to Cin Suyun weakly. Daughter, don't you like Xing Xiao anymore? Shenrui could not help but tell Cin Suyun everything that she had seen and heard in Huangyao. Cin Suyun's eyes opened wide when she heard it. She could not believe it. Did you see it with your own eyes? Shenrui nodded. I was wrong about him. I thought he was a gentleman. I didn't expect that. Cin Suyun was shocked for a while. Then, she came back to her senses. If what you said is true and Xing Xiao is so ridiculous, then it's better for you to see his true colors. Although wealth is important, my daughter's life is more important. If Xing Xiao is so ridiculous, then why is the Xing family so proud? How dare he come to the Shen family and bully us? Mom, all right, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's ask your uncle to find you a more outstanding young man. Oh yes, what do you think about the young master of the Lin family? Cin Suyun noticed that there was no hope for the Xing family. So, she shifted her attention to Lin Muan. The young master of the Lin family is much easier to deal with than Xing Xiao. Moreover, he is innocent. He will not fool around with women. If you like him, I could try to get in touch with him. Shenrui just wanted to find a way to forget Xing Xiao now. And the best candidate was Lin Muan. Are you serious? My daughter has thought it through. That's great news. But she did not know that Xing Xiao was not someone she could hope for. Not even Lin Muan. Xing Xiao managed to get rid of Shenrui successfully. He used some extreme methods. Although he was a devil in front of Shenrui, it was good that she was afraid of him. However, the old man insisted on giving Mu Qiqi the young master of the Lin family. We have to think of a way to make Mu Qiqi lose her position in the Shen family. Shenrui suddenly recalled the day when she visited Mu Qiqi with Grandpa Shin after the Lin family's banquet. At that time, she suspected that Mu Qiqi was not in the small villa and that Mu Qiqi's aunt was covering for her. Mother, we can't keep waiting for Mu Qiqi to deal with us. We need to take the initiative. I suspect that Mu Qiqi is hiding something from the Shen family. So, you'd better find a way to verify it. How? She's under the Xing family's protection. You don't have to make it too complicated. You just have to go to the small villa and observe her aunt. You will definitely find something that can be used against her. As long as they could find out that Mu Qiqi had lied to Grandpa Shin would be disappointed with Mu Qiqi. By then, they could seize the opportunity to drive Mu Qiqi out of the Shin family. That would be a reasonable thing to do. All right. Since you said so, I'll make the arrangements. Cin Suyun listened to her daughter. I hope that God will open his eyes and let me find something that can be used against that bitch. In the Shin family, Grandpa Shin was very sad because of Shenrui. It was because he could not stand it when the younger generation and the older generation were together. He could not cross that barrier. An elder was an elder. What was the point of being together with the younger generation? Shenrui had done such a silly thing. As her grandfather, it was embarrassing for him to say anything about it. It was embarrassing. So, Grandpa Shin was upset at home. He did not have a good meal for a few days. In the end, he had a high fever. He could not take it anymore and fell ill on the bed. When Muchichi heard about it, she went to visit Grandpa Shin after class. She saw Grandpa Shin acting like an old urchin. She took the bowl of porridge from Huang Yu and fed it to Grandpa Shin. "Grandpa, why do you have to do this? How can I face the Xing family in the future?" Grandpa Shin still could not accept it. He felt very upset. "Grandpa, your health is important. Dad has just recovered. Are you going to lie down again?" Muchichi persuaded him. "Moreover, Sister Rui is also in the hospital. She is badly injured. She has been taught a lesson. Chi-Chi, I don't have any hope for Shinrui anymore. I just hope that you won't disappoint me. Grandpa, don't give me so much pressure. You know that I am even more disobedient than Sister Rui." Muchichi let Grandpa Shin sit up and eat the porridge obediently. "You're the best. We've tried to persuade him many times. But, he just can't accept it. Second aunt, Grandpa will think it through sooner or later." After Grandpa Shin fell asleep, Muchichi planned to leave the Shin family. But, she bumped into Tsun Suyun, who had just returned from the hospital. They did not look happy when they saw each other. It was as if they were enemies who killed each other's parents. "Muchichi, don't be too proud. You will have this day too." Muchichi did not say anything. She left the Shin family directly. She knew that she would have this day. But, it was not now. She just hoped that Grandpa Shin could be healthy. Then, he would not refuse to eat because of her. Tsun Suyun sneered when she saw Muchichi leaving. Now, she had sent someone to monitor the little mansion. She was keeping a close eye on Susie Pei. She did not believe that she could not find out Muchichi's secret. To Muchichi, every time she returned to the Shin family and saw Grandpa Shin's sad face, it was a kind of torture for her. But, she was not afraid of this torture. She was firm in her belief. Just like what Xiao Xiao said, no matter how many difficulties there were in front of her, even if she could not see the future, she would still persist. So, after she had such a mentality, she became more calm. But, Shinrui and her daughter had shifted their target to Lin Muhan. This was also the first time Tsun Suyun went to Grandpa Shin's room calmly and talked to him for a while. "I know you don't want to see me. But, I'll leave after saying a few words." Grandpa Shin was so angry that he turned his back to Tsun Suyun. Chapter 222. It was certainly worth considering, because the Xing family would never tell anyone about it. How embarrassing would that be? But he felt that it would be unfair to the young master of the Lin family. But there was no better way now. It was better to let Shinrui be with Lin Mu and then to let her be with Xing Xiao. "I will think about it. You can leave now." "Humph. That's more like it." Tsun Suyun snorted. Grandpa Shin was still humane. He was not evil. However, Lin Mu had to be willing to be the one to plot against him. Since he met Lu Qianqian, Lin Mu always wanted to flirt with her. He would argue with her when he was free. How could there be such a wonderful thing in the world? They exchanged phone numbers when they met last time. Lu Qianqian even said that she wanted to have a hand-to-hand fight in the martial arts club. How could she withstand his punches? But he did not expect that Lu Qianqian would send him a message in the middle of the night. She asked him to meet her in the martial arts club the next day. Lin Mu agreed almost immediately. The corners of his mouth curled up unconsciously. However, he did not know that Lu Qianqian was in a bad mood. She could have gone to the crew to waste her energy and time. But because of what he said, she did not have any more scenes. So, Lin Mu and had to take responsibility. Duan Xiao and was going to be sentenced. The man whom she loved for so many years ended up like this. Although Lu Qianqian said that he deserved it, she was actually very sad. The next morning, Lin Mu and woke up early. He put on his sportswear and was about to go out. But, Grandpa Lin stopped him. Go home early tonight. I want to have dinner with Grandpa Shin. Okay. Lin Mu and guessed that Grandpa Shin must be talking about Mu Chi-Chi. So, he just laughed it off. But, he did not expect that it was Shin Ruoi this time. When he arrived at the martial arts club, Lin Mu and saw Lu Qianqian hitting the sandbag. He walked over and leaned against the sandbag. He saw Lu Qianqian sweating. I didn't know that you were quite strong. Go away. Lu Qianqian was venting her anger. Her tears and sweat were mixed together. Lin Mu and felt the pressure on her. He quickly put on his boxing gloves. Do you believe it? You won't even be able to touch the corner of my clothes. Lu Qianqian was instantly pissed off. She pounced on Lin Mu and rode on him, giving him a good beating. Lin Mu and quickly fought back, and the two of them rolled on the ground a few times. Finally, Lin Mu and subdued Lu Qianqian. Are you grinding your claws? What a little chilly. Who asked you to cut off my path to stardom and make me suffer so much? Just for a supporting role. Is there a need for this? You know nothing. Lu Qianqian pushed Lin Mu and away and stood up. She wiped her tears and sweat. I'm in a bad mood today. No, it doesn't matter today. As long as I'm in a bad mood in the future, you have to be my sparring partner. Give me a reason. Because you have a mouth that deserves a spanking. Mu Chi-Chi was much gentler than she was. Or was it because she was hurt that she pretended to be like this? Alright, I can promise you that. However, you must also promise me that I will be your sparring partner for a day, and you must return me a day's worth of time. On that day, no matter what I ask you to do, you must not refuse. What about the conditions? However, Lu Qianqian did not refuse. It's a deal, scumbag. How am I a scumbag? Lin Mu and was very curious. He stood up from the ground. Look at the stuff you've written. You've praised men to the heavens. Conceited, shameless, and reliable central air conditioner. I hate men like that the most. I definitely won't fall for it. After hearing Lu Qianqian's words, Lin Mu laughed. He laughed very heartlessly. You didn't fall for it. If you didn't fall for it, why are you standing here now? That's because I asked you out. Then I will ask you out in the future. After Lin Mu finished laughing, he patted the seat beside him and said to Lu Qianqian, come and sit down. Tell me why you are venting so crazily and why you treat the punching bag as your enemy for 10 lifetimes. Lu Qianqian calmed down and sat cross-legged. Then, she said to Lin Mu, that bastard has been sentenced today. Just because of this. Is it worth your punching the punching bag's chest? Lu Qianqian did not say anything. She felt that it was very strange. There were some things that she could not say to Mu Chi-Chi. But in front of this disgusting man, she could pour out her bitterness. Let me tell you a rule. I will teach you how to distinguish between men. Those who look honest are actually coquettish. But look at me and the crown prince. They look no different from playboys. But in fact, they are the ones who are not interested in women. You. Lu Qianqian looked at him from head to toe. Your whole face says that I want to flirt with you. Do you think I am stupid? Lin Mu burst out laughing. He pulled her up. Come on. Let's move. Since I am your sparring partner today, you can use my body as you please. Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes. This man never forgot to flirt with girls. But before they knew it, they stayed in the martial arts club for the whole day. When they got home at night, Lin Muhan was smiling. When he saw old Shin, he remembered that he had a dinner appointment today. I'm sorry, old Shin. I need to go up and change. It's okay. Grandpa Shin waved his hand to show that he did not mind. He was here to persuade Lin Muhan. He wanted to see if he could help Lin Muhan and Shin Rui get together. Let's go, old Shin. Let's talk while we eat. After the dinner, Lin Muhan finally understood Grandpa Shin's intention. He also understood his grandpa's intention. Actually, his grandpa had talked to him before. He wanted to know if he liked Muchichi. But it was obvious that Grandpa Shin was not satisfied with Muchichi's birth. Speaking of Shinrui, how perfect was she? She was well-educated and knowledgeable. Moreover, she was born in a good family. So, the two old men seemed to have reached a tacit agreement. They did not even ask for Lin Muhan's opinion. But, he was not angry. Anyway, Shinrui did not like him either. But, he did not expect that Shinrui would change her mind all of a sudden. Muhan, if you have time in the future, you should visit Miss Shin more often. I heard that she is hospitalized now. You should go and visit her when you are free. Sure. Lin Muhan nodded and agreed. He could visit a patient. But, it depended on whether he was sincere or not. Shinrui was not a person to be trifled with. Chapter 223. After Grandpa Shin met Lin Muhan, he went back to the Shin family and told Tsun Suyun a piece of good news. Tsun Suyun knew that Lin Muhan promised to visit Shinrui. So, her attitude towards Grandpa Shin became better. You finally behave like a grandfather. You don't have to run around for that bastard every day. Are you going to start again? It was rare for Grandpa Shin to be happy. But, Tsun Suyun started to pressure him again. Wasn't she annoyed by her words? Tsun Suyun knew that Grandpa Shin played a key role this time. So, she kept quiet. But, there would be a good show in a few days. Because she had been observing the small villa for a few days. But, she did not see Muchichi go back. Not even for a day. I have been watching outside for so many days. I have seen all kinds of people. But, I did not see Muchichi entering or leaving the small villa. I have asked the people in the villa. There is only one door in the villa. The other doors are all locked. So, I am sure that the bastard has another place to stay. Shinrui was deep in thought after she heard what her mother said. If she is not staying in the small villa, there is no need to hide it from Grandpa. Unless it is a secret. I think so too. But, Muchichi is under the protection of the Xing family now. It will be difficult to follow her. Mom, you don't have to do it yourself. Go to Xingting University and find a helper. You can ask Muchichi's classmate to help you. Then, it will not arouse suspicion. That's a good idea. I'll get it done tomorrow. I am getting more and more curious. What is the secret of this bastard? By the way, your eldest uncle is also in this hospital. I will bring you to see him when you are better. From the first day the mother and daughter entered the hospital, Shin Jianchuan already knew about it. The mother and daughter who bullied Muchichi were like snakes. They were always scheming. Although he was not in the Shin family, he knew everything about the Shin family. Apart from what Grandpa Shin told him, he could also make his own judgment. So, Shin Jianchuan soon found out from the nurse what the mother and daughter said in the ward. After all, he was an old man in the hospital. It was not too difficult to ask the nurse for a favor. Through the nurse, Shin Jianchuan found out that the mother and daughter were investigating the matter of Muchichi not staying in the small villa. As her father, he deduced that Muchichi was already living with that brat. That was why no one could know about it. She was only 18 years old. Was she going to hand over her life to someone else? Even so, Shin Jianchuan still asked the nurse to contact Muchichi and asked her to come to the hospital. Muchichi did not know what Shin Jianchuan wanted to say, but she could feel that it must be very important. Tell me the truth, Chi-Chi. Are you living with Xing Xiao now? After listening to Shin Jianchuan's question, Muchichi could not deny it. She could only nod in silence. We have been living together. Have you decided on him? Dad, we've already discussed this before, Muchichi answered Shin Jianchuan firmly. Although Shin Jianchuan felt that it was a pity. He had not found a son-in-law for his daughter, but he still told Muchichi about Sun Suyun and her daughter. Even if you don't stay in the small villa, you must go back every day. Even if you come out after that, you must not leave any gap for them to investigate you. Shenrui and her daughter already know that you have not returned to the small villa for a few days. Now, they are planning to bribe your classmates to find out where you are staying. Muchichi felt sorry for Shin Jianchuan. Dad, I'm sorry. I know that my daughter has grown up. But I've told you before that I'm very capable. Even if I lie here and can't move, I can still protect you. Fortunately, they are in this hospital. What would you do if they were in another hospital to deal with you? The matter of Shenrui liking Xiao Xiao has been exposed. Grandpa is very angry. He beat Shenrui up and forbade her from leaving the Shin family. If Grandpa knows about it one day, Xiao Xiao and I don't know how sad he will be. Since you're so afraid, why are you still with Xing Xiao? I can't live without him. Muchichi's eyes were firm. Thank you, Dad. I'll handle this matter well. Handle what? They just want to stir up trouble in front of Grandpa Shin. You just have to play along with them. You can also dispel Grandpa Shin's worries. Shenrui is so obsessed with Xing Xiao even though she has almost no chance to see him. So, do you think your grandfather will think that you're so close to Xing Xiao? He's just pretending to be ignorant. He's lying to himself before he sees the evidence. I understand. Xiao Qi, it's fine if you like him. It's not a heinous crime. Xing Xiao treats you very well. As a father, I have nothing to say. Your grandfather will accept you sooner or later. Only Shin Jianchuan understood her at this time. Muchichi smiled. I was in a hurry when I left home. So, I asked Xiao Xiao to send me here. Do you want to see him? He kidnapped my daughter. Do you think I'll accept him so easily? No way. Shin Jianchuan said. After I recover, I'll ask him to visit me properly. Okay. Muchichi hugged Shin Jianchuan's arm and rubbed against it. She tried to feel her father's warmth and protection. But when she thought about it, she realized that Sun Suyun and her daughter had done too many things to her. She had no reason not to fight back. Just like what her father said, she would play along with them. She would make Grandpa Shin hate them completely. She might even chase them out of the Shin family. She did not want to do that. But, someone forced her to do it. Muchichi stayed with Shin Jianchuan for a little longer in the hospital. Then, she went home with Xing Xiao. But, on the way home, Muchichi had told Xing Xiao about Shenrui and her daughter. Xing Xiao entered the living room. He did not say a word. He just hugged Muchichi quietly. Since we're playing, let's play it big. But, I don't understand why they won't let me go. Shenrui made a mistake and was punished by Grandpa Shin. But, you're fine. So, of course, they'll try their best to find fault with you. What's there to understand? At first, I wanted to let them go. But, they're too scheming. Since they want to investigate so much, I'll let them investigate to their heart's content. There's a path to heaven, but they don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but they want to go. Chapter 224. Lin Mu-en was ordered to visit Shenrui in the hospital. He behaved like a gentleman and gave her flowers. Chen Suyun could not stop smiling when she saw that. She immediately made room for them and found an excuse to leave the ward. Shenrui was lying on the bed. She looked like a sleeping beauty. Although she did not have any special feelings for Lin Mu-en, she still looked at him gently. Mu-en, thank you for coming. Sister Rui, don't say that. I'm worried about your health. Lin Mu-en addressed Shenrui as his sister to draw a line between them. Although he had promised the elders that he would visit Shenrui, it did not mean that he had to obey their arrangement. Shenrui could feel that Lin Mu-en was trying his best to draw a line between them. It was really strange. He had just said that Mu Chi-chi and Lin Mu-en were a good match for each other a few days ago. Now, he was slapping her in the face. I'm fine. I'll be discharged from the hospital soon. That's good. I have something to do in the afternoon. I won't accompany you anymore. I hope that you'll be healthy the next time we meet. Lin Mu-en was a gentleman, but he was too polite. Chen Suyun saw Lin Mu-en leaving her daughter's ward so quickly. She could not help but ask, what happened? Did you have a bad conversation? He was ordered to visit me. How could he be sincere? Shenrui said embarrassedly. It's okay. Feelings can be cultivated slowly. Don't worry. Daughter, when you're discharged from the hospital, you should go out and have fun. Young people will fall in love very soon. Your grandfather has helped you a lot this time. He still has a conscience. What could Shenrui do? She nodded her head. She would admit to everything. After Lin Mu-en left the hospital, he went to the florist again and bought a bouquet of flowers. The florist saw Lin Mu-en and smiled at him. Sir, are you going to see a patient again? Is it the same as the one just now? Give me a new bouquet of flowers. I want the most beautiful one. I want the freshest one. And, I want the best packaging. Okay. Please wait a moment, sir. This is for your girlfriend, isn't it? You can tell from how much effort you put in. Lin Mu-en smiled but didn't say anything. He quickly took the bouquet of carefully wrapped flowers from the hands of the flower shop attendant and went to the martial arts hall. Just like last time, Lu Qianqian had already arrived. When she saw him holding the flowers, she immediately blurted out, "Don't tell me it's for me. Have you received flowers before?" Lin Mu-en asked Lu Qianqian as he took off his coat. Lu Qianqian was silent and did not answer. In other words, she did not receive it. Isn't that enough? I'll be merciful today and let you feel the envy of others. After Lin Mu-en finished speaking, he went to the changing room. After changing, he came out of the changing room. What do you want to vent about today? I wonder what I'll do in the future. Lu Qianqian pouted. I used to be an obedient child, but I learned a lot of unconventional things from that scum, such as boxing, billiards, and those things in the club. But now, those things are meaningless to me. I'm not as smart as Chi-Chi. She's studying in Xingting University. She went there to learn how to cut up corpses. Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes at him. Anyway, I want to beat you up again today. Think carefully. Including today, you owe me for a total of 2 days. When the time comes, I'll make you pay me back. I'm afraid of you. Lu Qianqian was not afraid of his tricks. But when she saw the bouquet of flowers on the table, she was quite touched. It was like a child who had never been loved and suddenly had a candy stuffed in her mouth. That feeling was really different. You were wearing a suit and leather shoes just now. Where did you go? Shouldn't people of your profession stay at home and think about your plot? I went to visit the patient. A woman. Mu Qiqi's cousin. Lin Mu and made a fake pose and waited for Lu Qianqian's fist. I seem to understand. Could it be that this bouquet of flowers is, you're thinking too much? It's just a bag of flowers sent to the hospital. It's economical and practical. I was in there for a total of 3 minutes, including the time I took to walk. Lin Mu and shrugged. I don't have a good impression of this woman. It's really rare, it's rare. Eat my punch. Lu Qianqian used all her skills to vent all the resentment in her heart. The two of them stayed like that for another day. Then, the two of them lay on the ground, sweating profusely. Lin Mu and suddenly said to Lu Qianqian, "You're the only daughter in your family. The burden of the Lu family will be handed over to you sooner or later. In that case, why do you still have to think of a way out? That's the way you should take on. Wouldn't it be fine if you carry out the successor training? Things seem to be that simple." Lu Qianqian nodded. "Thank you for the flowers." After saying that, she got up and took the bouquet of flowers away. In order to feel the envious gazes of others, she deliberately walked home. Sure enough, the number of heads turned along the way was astonishing, especially from the girls. They were filled with endless envy. At that moment, Lin Mu got up from the ground and sent a message to Lu Qianqian. "Tomorrow, it's your turn to accompany me. Be careful. I'm a person who can ask for anything." Lu Qianqian put away her phone and finally smiled. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi knew that Sun Suyun and her daughter were investigating her. So, she deliberately left the school and went back to her and Xing Zhao's new home. She purposely let the mother and daughter know that she had another place to stay. The students who followed Mu Qiqi could not enter the villa. So, she did not know that Xing Zhao was also in the villa. In order to give Sun Suyun more material to complain to Grandpa Xin, Mu Qiqi would prepare more scenes for others to see. Then, when Sun Suyun came with Grandpa Xin, the scene would be interesting. Sure enough, when Sun Suyun knew where Mu Qiqi's new home was, she was very excited. But they could not act rashly. Because Mu Qiqi might have a new home, but it did not mean that she had any secrets. They must find out more about her so that Grandpa Xin would be disappointed or even hate Mu Qiqi. She did not know that Shen Jianchuan already knew about her and Shen Ruoyi's scheme. It seems that things are starting to turn for the better. God is helping us. You can be discharged from the hospital in 1 day. Then, you should hurry and ask the young master of the Lin family out for a date. Mom, I know what to do. Don't worry about it. Chapter 225. Shen Ruoyi knew that Lin Mu had great potential. But Lin Mu was not as obedient as he seemed to be. I'll buy some delicious pastries and visit the Lin family tomorrow. I'm relieved that you're enlightened. Sun Suyun was relieved. Shen Ruoyi was not enlightened. She just thought of Xing Zhao's hobby of teasing girls. It was so creepy. Moreover, she had embarrassed herself in the Xing family. Now, she just wanted to erase this devil from her mind as soon as possible. So, the next morning, Shen Ruoyi went to visit the Lin family after she bought some pastries. But, Lin Mu was in his office. He asked Lu Qianqian to come with him. Imitate my signature. There are 2,000 books that need my signature. Lu Qianqian crossed her arms and shook her head. Why would the readers want to buy your books? Why do you have to fake this? I need them tonight. I won't be able to sign all 2,000 books even if I break my arm. That's easy. Can't you just sign it? It's better to sign for someone else if you're not sincere. Lin moved and looked at her and shook his head. Then, go and take off your clothes. Hey, pervert. Take off your coat and help me take care of the flowers. You don't want to get wet, do you? Lin moved and turned around and looked at Lu Qianqian. There was an evil smile in his eyes. Or, do you want to get wet? Lu Qianqian rolled her eyes at him. Let me tell you. I don't have any feelings for men now. I won't be interested even if you stand in front of me naked. You sound like you should be saying that to men. I don't know how to take care of flowers. I deserve it if you kill them. Lin moved and smiled and let her be. He focused on sitting in front of the mountain of books, obediently in front of him. He only wrote the word "and" in each book. It saved him a lot of trouble. Then, he would ask his assistant to prepare 2,000 gifts as a gift to apologize. Looking at Lu Qianqian, she was like a rich young lady when she was quiet. But, when she opened her mouth, she was like a firecracker. Lin moved and was immersed in his signature again. But, he received a call from Shenrui soon. Mu and I bought some pastries for you, but I don't know where you are right now. Will I disturb you? Lin moved and was stunned. Could it be that he didn't make his attitude clear when he went to the hospital? I'm sorry, Sister Rui. I have an appointment today. I'll definitely visit you another day to apologize. Lin moved and always kept a good distance from women he didn't like. He would never give them any chances or misunderstandings. Dating wasn't about making do, it was about liking each other, wasn't it? All right then, after Shenrui hung up the phone, Lin moved and fell into deep thoughts. Shenrui clearly wanted to matchmake him with Muqiqi. Why was she so nice to him now? This was not a good sign. Lu Qianqian saw that he was in a daze after answering the phone. She sneered. Since you have an appointment, go. Do you really want me to go? What does it have to do with me? Lu Qianqian continued to bury her head and focus on the plants on the ground. This little pepper was really irritating. It seemed that he had to think of a way to avoid this rotten peach blossom. Shenrui did not know that she did not have a good ending with Xingxiao. Now that she was in the Lin family, Lin moved and still despised her. Of course, before he could avoid this rotten peach blossom, he had to know why Shenrui suddenly went to the hospital and changed her attitude towards him. Perhaps Muqiqi could answer his question. But according to Muqiqi's character, she would not gossip about others. So, he could only call the crown prince and ask him about it. He promised Lu Qianqian that he would meet Xingxiao and Xingxiao owed him a favor. It was not too much to ask the crown prince to return the favor, right? So, Lin moved and picked up the phone in front of Lu Qianqian. He dialed Xingxiao's number. Crown Prince, I need a minute. I want to ask you something. Say it. Xingxiao raised his eyebrows and put down the contract in his hand. Based on your relationship with Muqiqi, you must know why Shenrui is hospitalized, right? Grandpa Shen beat her up. Why? Because she sneaked into my office and was caught by my mother, I understand now. Lin moved and understood immediately. Xingxiao's intention was clear enough. Shenrui failed to fall in love with him and Grandpa Shen found out about it. So, she was beaten up. It was the same case of a niece falling in love with an uncle. Muqiqi's ending was too different. If that's the case, it'll be easy. Thank you, Crown Prince. Lu Qianqian was curious when she heard the two men talking about Shenrui. Is Shenrui related to the Crown Prince? Don't worry. The Crown Prince loves your Xiao Qiqi very much. I'm the one who is in trouble now. But, I've thought of a way to avoid it. Since she had made a fool of herself in the Xing family, she still dared to come to him shamelessly. Could it be that he really looked like a spare tire? It'd better be so. What will you do if the Crown Prince has another woman outside? I'll let Qiqi leave him. Lu Qianqian answered Lin Mu unfirmly. You're such a playboy. You won't understand how pitiful and scary a person can be when they are in love. The Crown Prince is Qiqi's first love. She sounded as if Mu Qiqi was not Xing Zhao's first love. It was just that no one knew about it. You go and tell the Crown Prince, and you, since you're related to Shenrui, don't come to me. I hate men like you the most. But, Lin Mu laughed when he heard what Lu Qianqian said. So, do you think that you're a woman who will have a relationship with me? Yes, we're enemies. Are you satisfied with this answer? This man, 2 out of every 3 sentences he said were meant to seduce women, Lin Mu, and did not continue to quarrel with Lu Qianqian. He was thinking about how he should tell his grandpa about it in an interesting way when he returned home. Lu Qianqian stayed in Lin Mu's studio until the afternoon. Then, she thought that she should go and have a meal with Mu Qiqi. Because she was interested in Shenrui. Mu Qiqi rushed to meet Lu Qianqian after class. Of course, she knew that someone was watching her closely. Qiqi, I was in Lin Mu's studio today. I heard Lin Mu calling the Crown Prince to ask about Shenrui. What's the relationship between the Crown Prince and Shenrui? Mu Qiqi smiled. She did not answer her question. Instead, she asked, since when are you so close to Lin Mu? I'm worried about you. Don't worry. I'll tell you slowly. Mu Qiqi said as she poured a cup of fruit tea for Lu Qianqian. At the same time, Lin Mu had entered the house. He saw his grandpa and walked to him. Grandpa, Miss Shen came to look for you today. But you weren't here. Chapter 226. Grandpa Lin glanced at him and nodded his head. Go ahead. Lin Mu walked to Grandpa Lin and sat down on the sofa. His expression was complicated. Of course, it was all an act. I heard that Miss Shen is hospitalized because of a man. But the man's family does not want her. So, Grandpa, think about it. Old Shen wanted me to get to know Miss Qiqi more during your birthday banquet. But a few days later, she became Miss Rui. Don't you think it's strange? I don't want to affect the friendship between you and old Master Shen, but there are some things that I have to say to him. Grandpa Lin thought for a while and did not refute his grandson. It was because Lin Mu had always been considerate. Moreover, he had never disobeyed him on such matters. No matter which lady he met, they would always praise him. So, since Lin Mu felt embarrassed, he had to investigate Shenrui's case carefully. Is this news reliable? Yes, Grandpa. You know that I won't tell you if it's not because I can't live with it, don't say any more. Although I'm good friends with old Shin, you're the pride of the Lin family. How can you be someone's backup? Don't bother about the Shin family. You don't have to see Miss Shin if you don't want to. Thank you, Grandpa. Lin Mu said it in a subtle way. But Grandpa Lin managed to get the point. It seemed that he did not waste his years in the government. Although he was not as good as the Crown Prince, he did not need to be a backup. What was Shenrui thinking about all day? Mu Qiqi told Lu Qianqian about what happened in the Shen family while they were talking. Qianqian was speechless when she heard about Xin Suyun and her daughter. In other words, Shenrui was scared off by the Crown Prince. Now, she thinks of Lin Mu again. Is that what you mean? Judging from the current situation, it seems so. No wonder Lin Mu and wants to ask the crown prince about this. Perhaps, he wants to find a way to get rid of this vase. Lu Qianqian sighed. TSK. She must be worried about getting married. Now, she can find herself a backup. Lin Mu and must be very angry. Whoa. I don't know. How interesting. Lu Qianqian was actually unaware that so much had happened to Mu Qiqi while she was grieving. That mother and daughter are still looking for a chance to expose you and cause trouble. Yes, I can only say that they've eaten a bear's heart and leopard's gall. They're courageous. I really want to know how Lin Mu and got rid of this big vase. So, Mu Qiqi and the others already knew what was going on. Only Cin Suyun and her daughter were still daydreaming. You're so close to Lin Mu and why don't you just ask him? Go to hell. You're making fun of me. Lu Qianqian pushed Mu Qiqi. After that, Mu Qiqi returned to the villa. The classmate who followed her was really energetic. She and Qianqian had been sitting in the cafe for so long, but she could still hold on. After she entered the villa, the classmate secretly asked the security guard at the entrance which building Mu Qiqi was staying in and what the house number was. However, he did not tell her. So, she secretly gave him some cash. Then, she got the answer. That girl has moved into our villa for some time. She is living with a man. But I don't know who they are. Every day, they go home one after another. If you want to know who her man is, you can come here another day. As for the rest, I can't tell you the house number. It's enough. That's enough. The security guard was satisfied. Because she had gotten what Cin Suyun and her daughter wanted. Mu Qiqi is really living with a man. Cin Suyun was very excited. It's a pity that we don't know who the man is. Mom, Mu Qiqi is not on guard now. It's just a matter of time before they find out. Don't be anxious. Shenrui reminded her. Let's bear with it for a while. By the way, how did it go when you went to meet young Master Lin today? He's not at home. Shenrui answered casually while removing her makeup. Don't you know how to look for him when he's not at home? I'll go tomorrow, said Shenrui. Cin Suyun was satisfied when she heard what Shenrui said. That's more like it. It was getting colder at night. Mu Qiqi was still walking around the house barefooted. Xing Xiao carried her on his shoulder and walked to the bedroom when he saw her. Xiao, are you purposely walking barefooted to make me feel bad? Does your butt not hurt anymore? Xing Xiao placed her on the edge of the bed. Then, he squatted in front of her and put on the soft slippers for her. Mu Qiqi quickly covered her butt when he mentioned her butt. Don't spank my butt all the time. I'm an adult now. No matter how old you are, you're still a little thing in my eyes. Moreover, I've been treating you like a father and a brother ever since you started sticking to me. Why are you arguing that you're an adult now? If I want to punish you, I'll have to spank you. I'll remember to wear shoes next time. Can you let me go, Crown Prince? You've gotten what you want. Xing Xiao pinched her nose. Then, he stood up and left the bedroom. But, Mu Qiqi seized the opportunity and threw herself on his back. Cin Suyun and her daughter already know that I'm living with a man here. They'll definitely try their best to confirm the man's identity. Why don't I show my face to them? Xing Xiao teased Mu Qiqi on purpose. I'll let them know that I don't want their daughter. I want you, my little thing. Wait a little longer, Xing Xiao smiled. In fact, he knew very well that the little one did not want to expose their relationship just yet. She always wanted to grow up quickly and become more and more outstanding. That way, there would be less gossip about her, and it would be better for him. Anyway, my birth is already a topic that people always laugh about. I don't care about my reputation. But I care about you. I don't know what I should do to stop people from talking about me. Xing Xiao did not say anything. He carried Muqiqi to the study. Then, he let her hang on his back like a koala. Do you love me that much? After a while, Xing Xiao lowered his head and asked the person in his arms. Muqiqi was half awake. But she still answered him, I love you. I love you very much. Xing Xiao did not say anything. He just hugged his little one tightly in his arms. Would the love of an 18-year-old make people feel that it was light and weightless? But Xing Xiao believed in Muqiqi. The love of an 18-year-old was pure, clean and wholehearted. Chapter 227. These days, Shenrui went to see Lin Muhan for a few times. But Lin Muhan rejected her every time. Shenrui vaguely felt that something was wrong. Lin Muhan had been perfunctory the last few times. But recently, Lin Muhan was too lazy to be perfunctory. Sometimes, he did not even answer her calls or reply her texts. No matter how despicable Shenrui was, she should know what he meant. But the Lin family and the Shen family had been friends for many years. Moreover, it was the two elders who had helped them. Even if Lin Muhan was dissatisfied with her, he would not pretend that she was pestering him. He was bullying her. Shenrui was not convinced. So, she sent someone to follow Lin Muhan for a few days. She found out that he was very close to a woman recently. She was Muqiqi's good friend, the young lady of the Lu family, Lu Qianqian. Shenrui did not think much. She went straight to Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, you seem to support me to be with the young master of the Lin family. But, you don't want to help me, do you? Shenrui, how can you talk to your elders like this? Huang Yu immediately asked Shenrui, what happened to your well-mannered demeanor? Second aunt, you don't know this. Grandpa supports me to be with the young master of the Lin family. But, he has been ignoring me these days. Do you know who he is with? He is with Muqiqi's good friend. The one who had a miscarriage when she was 18. Grandpa Shen frowned when he heard that. You feel uncomfortable too, don't you? I think so too. I am the young lady of the Shen family. How can I lose to a second-hand woman? Moreover, Lu Qianqian is Muqiqi's good friend. Can I understand that Muqiqi asked her friend to seduce Lin Muhan? Father, Muqiqi is not that kind of person. Huang Yu immediately spoke for Muqiqi. Huang Yu, call Muqiqi and ask her to come here. Grandpa Shen did not make a decision. Because he did not know about it, he would not take sides. When Muqiqi received the call, she felt that she was in trouble. So, she rushed back to the Shen family immediately. Once they entered the house, all the elders were gathered in the living room. Sun Suyun and her daughter were crying and standing at the side while Huang Yu looked furious. Muqiqi, do you think our Rui is not miserable enough? Do you want to add insult to injury? Before Grandpa Shen could say anything, Sun Suyun had already accused Muqiqi. Of course, Muqiqi was already used to it. Is it my fault if anything goes wrong in your family? Muqiqi asked in return. Muqiqi, just tell me. Do you know the relationship between Lin Muhan and Lu Qianqian? What's their relationship? Muqiqi asked in return. After all, Lu Qianqian and Lin Muhan did not do those dirty things that they imagined. Then do you know that Grandpa wants me and Lin Muhan together? When did Grandpa tell me? Muqiqi asked. Look at you. You are pretending to be innocent and you don't know anything. You and Lu Qianqian are good friends. Do you dare to say that you don't know that she and Lin Mu and are together? Grandpa, Lin Mu and has been pretending to be busy these few days. He ignored me. But he is getting along well with Lu Qianqian. How can I not suspect Mu Qiqi? Are you kidding me? Lin Mu and is getting along well with Lu Qianqian. Why are you looking for me? Mu Qiqi was angry. She raised her voice. Yes, Lu Qianqian is my good friend. But why are you so sure that I know about it? Grandpa, you never told me that you want Shenrui and Lin Mu and to be together. Didn't you? Grandpa Shen nodded. He did not tell Mu Qiqi about it. But he was not feeling well at the moment. He could not say a word. So, no one noticed it. Fine. Even if you don't know anything, you should understand my plan now, right? As a member of the Shen family, shouldn't you do something for the Shen family and let your good friend know her place? Don't disturb other people's happy occasion. First of all, I don't think that you are doing something for the Shen family. You are the one who shamelessly went to someone else's office and embarrassed yourself. Why should everyone help you? Why should others help you to live a happy life? Moreover, Qianqian is the young lady of the Lu family. Her family background is not worse than yours, but she is shameless. She had an abortion when she was 18. What about you? You went to someone else's office and got caught red-handed. How good can you be? Grandpa Shen was angry when he heard them quarreling. Shut up, both of you. How can you two sisters quarrel like this? Grandpa, I don't know what this has to do with me. Why did you call me here in the middle of the night? You should find the reason why my sister is not favored by others. You should not ask me. The Lin family is not stupid. Can't they tell the good from the bad? It is obvious that you are trying to drive a wedge between us. Perhaps you have even told the Lin family about what happened to me in the Xing family. It seems that Sister Rui is determined to put the blame on me, isn't it? Mu Qiqi did not argue with Shenrui when she saw how persistent Shenrui was. Anyway, no matter how she explained, the mother and daughter were right. How dare you say that it has nothing to do with you? Fine. I admit it. I am the one who did it. I asked Lin Mu and to ignore you. I also asked my good sister to provoke Lin Mu and. So, you have no chance at all. Are you satisfied with this? Grandpa, she admitted it. Shenrui pointed at Mu Qiqi and shouted at Grandpa Shen. Grandpa, yes, I admit it. Not only this time. If there is such a thing in the future, I will interfere. I will tell everyone that the Xing family doesn't want you. Don't you dare. Sun Suyun threatened Mu Qiqi loudly. A bastard is a bastard, slap. No one expected that Mu Qiqi would hit Sun Suyun. If you dare to call me a bastard again, I will let the whole Jianchuan know about your daughter's scandal. Do you believe me? Mu Qiqi, how dare you hit me? If you and your daughter bully me like this again, I will still hit you. Mu Qiqi said fiercely. Isn't it just bullying my father who is lying on the sickbed? Isn't it just bullying me because I didn't grow up in the Shen family? Let me tell you, I, Mu Qiqi, will not tolerate you today. I won't tolerate you in the future. Sun Suyun was furious. She wanted to slap Mu Qiqi. But Shenlin grabbed her wrist. Third aunt, you can't hit Qiqi. Grandpa, I know that you want to be fair. Because you are not only my grandpa but also the head of the Shen family. But I have told you before that I will not mistreat myself for the sake of this family. Because, to me, I only cherish those who care about me. Chapter 228. Grandpa Xing looked at Mu Qiqi, and Mu Qiqi looked back at him with teary eyes. It was the first time that the grandpa and the granddaughter were so tense. I believe you. But, Chi-Chi, you shouldn't have hurt your elders. Grandpa Shin said after a while. His eyes were blurry. That's a different matter. Apologize to your third aunt. She said that I'm a bastard. If she can apologize, I can too. In the past, I was slandered again and again in the Mu family. No one spoke up for me. Everyone hated me. Is everything going to happen again in the Shin family today? Mu Chi-Chi was very determined. She replied in a domineering manner. That's right. Is it my fault that Shinrui can't win Lin Mu Han's favor? Then, Mu Chi-Chi burst into tears. If you can't accept me, just tell me directly. I'll leave. Why do you have to humiliate me and hurt my heart? Grandpa, is this what you want to see? Shao Qi. Huang Yu called Mu Chi-Chi. She felt sorry for her. I'm unnecessary. I'll leave now. Then, Mu Chi-Chi turned around and walked toward the gate without hesitation. At that moment, Grandpa Shin stood up from his seat. He said to Shinrui in front of everyone. Apologize to Chi-Chi. Why should I apologize to her? Shinrui was not convinced. Because you've wronged her. I didn't. Otherwise, why would Lin Mu and be with Lu Qianqian? Mu Chi-Chi could not bear it anymore. She took out her phone and called Lin Mu and. Then, she said in front of everyone, Lin Mu and Chi-Chi. Lin Mu and did not know that he had caused such a big commotion in the Shin family when he ignored Shinrui. Can you tell me why you don't want to see Shinrui? Lin Mu and could hear the trembling in Mu Chi-Chi's voice. He knew that it was not a simple matter. So, he answered her. Mu Chi-Chi pressed the speaker button. I only treat Rui as my sister. I don't have any other thoughts. So, I think it's necessary for me to let Sister Rui know my attitude. But she thinks that I'm trying to sow discord between you. If I don't like it, then I don't like it. What does it have to do with you? What about Qianqian? Have you been close to her lately? Mu Chi-Chi, don't I even have the right to make friends? I got to know Lu Qianqian because of filming. We have some interactions, and she happens to be your friend. Besides, Lu Qianqian and I are just ordinary friends. But some people think that I asked Qianqian to seduce you, Mu Chi-Chi said into the phone. They think that it's my fault that you ignore her. Isn't this a little funny? What does this have to do with you? If my words and actions have caused any misunderstanding, I will ask my grandfather to come and apologize to you. Thank you, Lin Mu-hen. After that, Mu Chi-Chi hung up the phone and looked at Shinrui. On the other hand, Shinrui looked terrible. You brought this embarrassment upon yourself. With that, she called Xing Xiao. Can you come and pick me up? Hearing Mu Chi-Chi's sad voice, Xing Xiao immediately sat up on the sofa. Wait for me. No one knew who Mu Chi-Chi was calling. But they could hear the sadness in her voice. Huang Yu put her hand on Mu Chi-Chi's shoulder to comfort her. At the same time, she understood Grandpa Shin's predicament. Grandpa Shin knew that Xiao Chi-Chi was disappointed in him. Because he did not stand up for her in time. So, she had to turn her back to him. Now, the truth is right in front of us. Cin Suyun, Shinrui, you have wronged Mu Chi-Chi without distinguishing between right and wrong. You have blamed her for all these groundless crimes. What else do you want? Are the two of you clinging on to Chi-Chi? I've told you that she is just an outsider. She will never side with the Shin family. So, what if I wronged her? Can't she take this little punishment? If that's the case, why are you still standing with the Shin family? Get lost. You are the one who should get lost, when the two elders were quarreling, Shinrui cried. I know that I am not as good as your sister in Muchichi's heart. But, you should think for me. Can't you ask Lu Qianqian not to come and make trouble for us? Muchichi did not want to talk to Shinrui at all. She turned her back to the Shin family. In just 15 minutes, Xing Xiao's men came to the Shin family's courtyard. They took Muchichi from Huang Yu's hands. What's wrong? Muchichi did not say anything. Her eyes were red. It's them. Third brother's family said that Muchichi asked Lu Qianqian to seduce Lin Muhan. So, Shinrui could not be with Lin Muhan. Xing Xiao hugged Muchichi in front of the Shin family. Then, he said to Shinrui, I am the one who told Lin Muhan about you. Why? Do you want to settle the score with me? Shinrui was stunned. Everyone in the Shin family was stunned. Grandpa Shin, what did I say? The Xing family can afford to raise Muchichi. If you don't like her, I can take her away. You promised me that you will not let her be bullied in the Shin family. But, how many times have you done that? You and I know what kind of person Shinrui is and what kind of person Sun Suyun is. If you think that your compromise and Muchichi's tolerance can balance the family, then we don't have to stay in the Shin family. But, let me tell all of you, especially Shinrui. If I find out that you bullied Xiaoqi again, I will make sure that you have no place to stay in Jianchuan. I mean what I say. Let's go. Then, Xing Xiao wanted to leave with Muchichi. But, Muchichi shook her head and walked toward Shinrui. Slap. It was another slap. Since I am wrongly accused, I will make sure that it is true. From today onwards, I will ruin your plan. With that, Muchichi followed Xing Xiao, and the two of them soon disappeared from the Shin family's residence. Muchichi asked Xing Xiao to come and pick her up. How sad must she be for her to do that? Grandpa Shin could not say anything at this moment. He felt that there were always so many things happening in the family when Sun Suyun was around. Father. Huang Yu was worried about Grandpa Shin's health. So, she called out to him. But, Grandpa Shin waved his hand and said to Shinrui and her daughter. Both of you should move out. The Shin family will not keep you anymore. Sun Suyun and Shinrui were shocked and they heard that. Grandpa. Chapter 229. Grandpa Shin stood up from the chair. He held his breath and walked to Sun Suyun. Before she could say anything, he slapped her face and shouted hysterically. Get lost. Get lost as far as you can. Then, Grandpa Shin's body fell down. The Shins were so frightened that they came forward to help him. Father, Grandpa. Shinrui wanted to help Grandpa Shin. But Shinlin pushed her away. Because of you, the Shin family is in a mess. Grandpa has collapsed because of you. Are you happy now? Don't touch Grandpa. Shinlin, ignore them. Send your grandpa to the hospital. Grandpa Shin wanted to speak for Muchichi. But he could not. Because he had been holding on. He was heartbroken when he saw what happened. He knew that Muchichi was disappointed in him. But he did not want Sun Suyun to hold Xiaoqi's weakness against her. Muchichi even hit him. Chi-Chi. Grandpa Shin kept calling Muchichi's name when he was unconscious. Huang Yu was helpless. So, she called Muchichi. Chi-Chi, I know you are angry with your grandpa. But he has fainted. He is on the way to the hospital. Come and see him. Because of the phone call, Xing Xiao suddenly changed his route home. Grandpa Shin was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. The doctor checked him and knew that he was hurt. How can you make an old man so emotional? Normal people should not be able to take it. Are you trying to kill him? Fortunately, Grandpa Shin's life was not in danger. But he still did not wake up. After a while, Muchichi arrived at the ward. She felt bad when she saw Grandpa Shin lying on the bed. Chi-Chi, actually, Grandpa loves you. But the doctor said that he has not recovered from his cold. There is inflammation in his lungs. It has not happened yet. He is feeling very uncomfortable. After you left, Dad slapped Shin Suyun hard. Then, he asked them to leave the Shin family. He loves you. Don't be angry with him. Muchichi walked to Grandpa Shin's bed and shook her head. I am not angry with him. Dad is old. There are many things that he can't do. He just wants you to be well. Muchichi held the old man's hand. She understood that it was a lose-lose night. No one had the upper hand. Especially when Grandpa Shin was hospitalized. Muchichi took a deep breath. She took a long time to calm down. You must be tired today. Go back and rest. Shenlin will take care of your grandfather. He will tell your grandfather that you are not angry with him. Late at night, Wang Yu patted Muchichi's shoulder and comforted her. Don't think too much. Rest well. Muchichi got up from the chair and went home with Xing Xiao. But on the way home, she did not say a word. Xiao Xiao, Muchichi. Dawn. Shen, Xing. Xing Xiao ran all the way with her. He was still angry about how she had been wrong just now. Because the moment he received Muchichi's call, Muchichi's aggrieved tone was still in his heart. He could not forget it no matter how hard he tried. This little one had been with him for a long time. She had never felt so wronged. But tonight, he heard it again. His heart felt like it was rolling in a pan of oil. The feeling of being tightly gripped was really torturous. So, just now, he ran red lights all the way. Muchichi did not say anything. It was not worth it for them. So, she hugged Xing Xiao's arm. Everything was the same when they reached home. Because she believed that the mother and the daughter would be punished by God. Shin Suyun was still in a state of disbelief. Grandpa Shin had told her and Shin Rui to move out of the Shin family. Although Elder Xing had collapsed, he was serious about what he said. Mom, why are you still here? Shin Rui asked Shin Suyun while holding the suitcase. Didn't you hear what Grandpa said? Rui, your grandpa asked us to move out. Are we going to move out? Shin Suyun grabbed Shin Rui's shoulder and shook it. I'm not leaving. I'm a part of the Shin family. But Grandpa is serious. We still have to leave when he comes back. No, I'm not leaving. I'll wait for him to come back. I beg him. I beg him not to let us wander outside alone. Shin Suyun cried. I didn't expect that your grandpa would chase us away because of that bastard. Mom, maybe we've gone too far. Shin Rui regretted. It seems that Muchichi has nothing to do with this. We've suffered a great loss now. Grandpa will never trust us anymore. Humph. I want to stay. I haven't found out the secret of that little B*TCH. I'll stay until then. So, the mother and daughter were shameless. They did not listen to Grandpa Shin's order. But they still had Shenlin in the family. After they came back from the hospital, Shenlin threw Shinrui and Shin Suyun's belongings out of the Shin family. Shenlin, have you been bewitched by that little B*TCH? How could you do this to me? Grandpa asked you to get out of the Shin family. Shenlin did not just throw their luggage out. He even kicked them out of the Shin family. Because of you, the Shin family will never be peaceful again. Why don't you say that it's because of that little B*TCH? I'll sew your mouth shut if you dare to say anything bad about Muchichi again. Get lost. After that, Shinlin closed the main door of the Shin family and asked the guards at the door not to let them in. Tsun Suyun did not expect that she would be thrown out of the Shin family. She was furious. But she could not do anything to Shinlin. Mom, let's find a hotel nearby and wait for Dad to come back. Shinroi helped Tsun Suyun up. Just you wait. I'll come back sooner or later. By then, I'll cut Muchichi into pieces. Moreover, she had just found out Muchichi's secret. How could she give up? But Lin Muhen and Lu Qianqian felt bad about what happened in the Shin family, although it had nothing to do with them. But the Lin family came to Grandpa Shin's house early in the morning to apologize. Brother Shin, I'm sorry. I've made you suffer. Grandpa Lin apologized to his best friend. It's all my fault. She didn't do a good job. That's why it's a disaster. Mu-en, come and apologize to Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin, it's my fault. It's not your fault. Grandpa Shin waved his hand. But, how did you know that girl from the Lu family? Chapter 230. Grandpa, you've always taught me that I can't deny a person's entire life just because he made one mistake. Moreover, Lu Qianqian is not a heinous person. Could it be that we can't even have normal contact because of her bad reputation? You are just like Muchichi. Young people are not as rigid as us. Grandpa Shin stood up and spoke for Lin Muhen. Since Grandpa Shin is speaking for you, I will forgive you for now. But you must know your place. It's better for you to stay away from a girl like Lu Qianqian. Grandpa, I know what I'm doing. Grandpa Lin snorted. This matter was over. But he still felt sorry for Shinroi. It's such a pity for Rui. Grandpa Lin was not thinking about Shinroi. He was thinking about Muchichi. How could she trust him after she hurt Muchichi's feelings yesterday? Grandpa Shin, let's forget about the matter between Mu-hen and Rui since the two of them quarreled with each other. Grandpa Shin nodded. I understand. You can't force a relationship. It's the children's business. Let them deal with it themselves. You're right. Lin Mu-hen heaved a sigh of relief. But at the same time, he felt uncomfortable. In the eyes of the older generation, murder and arson were not as dirty as a girl getting pregnant and having a miscarriage. They would think that the girl was not a good girl. But to him, it was just a little chilly who met the wrong person. That was all. After Old Master Lin and Lin Mu-hen left, Wang Yu sat by the bed and told Grandpa Shin, Lin threw the mother and daughter out of the Shin family. Dad, I know what you said in a fit of anger yesterday might not be true, but Lin, it's good that he threw them out. Unexpectedly, Grandpa Shin agreed with Lin's action. If we don't teach them a lesson, they will always be so shameless. They won't give up on Muchichi. Muchichi was wronged yesterday. She must be very sad. But she still came to see you when I called her. Although she was sad, she was not angry at you. I'm sorry for the child. I'm sorry for Boss. Grandpa Shin sat on the bed and grabbed the quilt tightly. He could not let go of his feelings. When he thought about it, he hated Tsun Suyun even more. Chi-Chi will understand. She can also tell that eighth brother cares about this child very much. Grandpa Shin did not say anything. It was exactly what he was worried about. Shin Jianchuan was indeed the person who knew him the best. Shinrui did not even have the chance to get close to Xing Xiao in the past, but she was so infatuated with him. Chi-Chi had spent so much time with Xing Xiao. How did she feel about Xing Xiao? However, Grandpa Shin did not say it out loud. Shinrui and Sun Suyun had to stay in a nearby hotel for the night because they were chased out of the house. When third elder of the Shin family came back from a business trip, he found out that his wife and daughter had been chased out of the house. Of course, he was angry. Even if they were in the wrong, they were still a family. Was there a need to be so cruel? Third brother Shin went straight to the hotel and put his wife and daughter's luggage in the car. Let's go home. Dad, we were kicked out by Grandpa. You are my family. Who dares to chase you out? Come with me to the hospital. After that, third brother Shin brought his wife and daughter to the hospital. Then, he went to Grandpa Shin's ward. You stand here. I will go in. Third brother Shin stopped his wife and daughter outside the ward. After he entered the ward, he questioned Grandpa Shin. Dad, I did not come back for one night. Why did my wife and daughter get chased out of the Shin family? Third brother, Dad has just recovered. Don't be angry at him. Huang Yu immediately said to third brother Shin. I cannot be angry at you, Dad. But I will bring Rui and Suyun home now. Is it necessary for our family to end up like this? Dad, you're forcing me to be enemies with Muchichi. Grandpa Shin pointed at third brother and said, you should move out too. Dad, who asked you not to take care of your wife and daughter? You are taking advantage of my old age to do whatever you want in the Shin family. You accuse this person and provoke that person. Do you want me to die? Grandpa Shin was ruthless. He said the toughest words. Either you stay and they go, or the three of you get lost. Dad, I will discipline them. Please give us another chance. If they really do it again, it won't be too late for you to kick us out. Just for Ruoi's sake, you can't let your granddaughter wander outside, can you? You wanted to bring Muchichi back because you don't want the bloodline of the Shin family to wander outside, right? Grandpa Shin remained silent for a while. Finally, he said, it is not impossible for them to come back. But the mother and daughter must apologize to Muchichi in front of her. They must promise that they will not do it again. Otherwise, there is nothing to talk about. All right. I will ask them to apologize to Muchichi. In front of me. It's a deal. Third brother Shin had no choice but to leave the ward with Grandpa Shin's condition. He told the mother and daughter about it. But such a condition was worse than letting Sun Suyun die. Last night, Muchichi had slapped both mother and daughter in a row. I would rather die than bow down to this B*****. Just bear with it for now. You can find a chance to teach her a lesson in the future. Do you want to wander outside? Sun Suyun thought for a while. She suppressed her disgust and nodded. I will bear with her this time. It was because she and Shinrui had found the place where Muchichi was fooling around with other men. Once they got the evidence, she would ask Muchichi to kneel down in front of Grandpa Shin. Rui, what do you say? Third brother Shin asked his daughter. I will listen to you. She did not have the temper to live outside. Moreover, it would be difficult to deal with Muchichi after she left the Shin family. If that's the case, find a time to apologize to Muchichi personally. Moreover, the two of you should behave yourselves from now on. Don't pick on Muchichi in front of Dad. You know very well that she is his favorite. Humph. Sun Suyun snorted. What favorite? If Grandpa Shin knows about Muchichi's true colors, I'm afraid he will stab his own eyes. You can say it when you get the evidence. Otherwise, you will suffer in silence like what happened yesterday. Just wait and see. Chapter 231. Actually, Muchichi knew very well that it was almost impossible to drive the mother and daughter out of the house after what happened last night. After all, they did not do anything wrong. Moreover, Grandpa was still angry. But for the mother and daughter to lower themselves to apologize to her, she felt that she could accept it. Because it had nothing to do with her. So, she replied Huang Yu. I will come over after class. Then, Mu Qiqi sent a message to Xing Xiao. She told him that she would go to the hospital after class. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. He only said, don't let me hear your sad voice again. I will lose control. She saw Xing Xiao losing his temper last night. But, she did not want him to lose control again. I will not show any mercy to the mother and daughter. You better. Mu Qiqi's sad voice last night kept replaying in Xing Xiao's mind. When he thought of it, he wanted to take out his gun and kill her. How would you feel if a few pieces of trash touched something that you treasured so much? Mu Qiqi smiled and pocketed her phone. His loss of control last night had made her realize even more deeply how deep his feelings for her were. In the past, she always thought that she had given more feelings to him. But, when she thought of Xing Xiao's anxious expression last night, she suddenly felt that she was too stupid and naive. After the incident with Shen Rui, Lin moved and still texted Lu Qianqian as usual. But, Lu Qianqian ignored him. TSK. Did I offend you, little pepper? Lu Qianqian read the message. But, she did not reply. Because she could imagine what kind of words they would say when she was mentioned. She was a delinquent. Shameless. She should stay away from her. Because of that, when Mu Qiqi did not care about what others thought of her and still treated her as a good friend, she swore that no man would be able to replace Mu Qiqi in her heart. She could not have a man. But, she must not let her friend down. Lin moved and looked at his phone and did not reply. Actually, he could guess the answer. They were all adults. They did not need to be so naive. Because many problems were very practical. Since they were people from two different worlds, there was no need to forcefully link them together. What was the point of adding unnecessary harm? Of course, Lu Qianqian had also considered Lin Mu's suggestion that day. Since she could no longer go abroad, she should take on the responsibility of the family. So, Lu Qianqian took the initiative to tell Papa Lu, Dad, I will learn how to do business from you in the future. Pleased, Papa Lu smiled lovingly at Lu Qianqian. No matter what outsiders think of my daughter, I will always be proud of you. Dad, don't worry. I won't let you down. Because no one could rely on their youth to constantly make mistakes and not grow. Soon, the sun set in the west, and the blood-red rays of the setting sun were reflected on the tall buildings of the hospital. At that moment, Mu Qiqi was already at the door of Grandpa Xing's ward with a medical book in her hand. Qiqi, you're here. Come in. Huang Yu saw Mu Qiqi through the crack in the door and quickly said to her. Mu Qiqi pushed the door open and saw Grandpa Xin lying on the bed. Cin Suyun and Shen Rui were standing beside the bed. It seemed that they were ready to apologize. Xiao Qi, Grandpa. Mu Qiqi put down the book and sat beside Grandpa Xing. Where's the one who should apologize? Grandpa Xing did not turn his head. But, he was hinting at Cin Suyun and Shen Rui. Cin Suyun took a deep breath. Although she was not happy, she could only endure it. She looked at Shen Rui and turned her body slightly to look at Mu Qiqi. Qiqi, it's my fault last night. I wronged you. I hope you won't take it to heart. I'm sorry. Qiqi, I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have wronged you. I won't do it again. Please forgive us. It was a very stiff sentence. It was as if she had memorized her lines beforehand. It did not sound like she was apologizing sincerely. Of course, Mu Qiqi did not look at them. She lowered her head and said, "You're just afraid of being chased out of the house. So, you had to endure it this time. It doesn't matter whether I forgive you or not." "What do you mean by it won't happen again?" "Only you believe it when you say it." "But, I have to respect Grandpa. I won't pursue it anymore. But, if it happens again, I won't be polite. There won't be a next time." Tsun Suyun smiled apologetically. But, she kept reminding herself to endure it. Anyway, this little bitch would not be arrogant for long. "Chi-Chi, trust me. I'll discipline them well," Shin Chan quickly promised her. "Otherwise, I won't have the face to see Dad anymore. Since you've apologized, get out of here. Chi-Chi and I don't want to see you anymore." Grandpa Shin held Mu Chi-Chi's hand and said to Shin Chan and his family. Shin Chan did not say anything else. He left the ward with his wife and daughter. When they were at a place where the Shins could not see them, Shin Chan said, "Let's move back now. We don't want Mu Chi-Chi to play tricks on us and make Grandpa Shin change his mind." In the ward, Chi-Chi, Shin Chan and his family are like this. "I'm sorry that you've been wronged. Why do you have to be hospitalized because of anger? Is it just to make me feel bad?" Mu Chi-Chi's eyes were red. "You shouldn't be so agitated no matter how I fight with the Shin family. You're already so old. Why are you still getting involved? Are you trying to make me feel guilty?" Grandpa Shin's hands were trembling. He patted Mu Chi-Chi's head. "I didn't dote on you for nothing." Shin Chan and his family only cared if they would be chased out of the house when they saw him hospitalized. They were worried that they would get nothing. But, Xiao Qi was different. She was really concerned about his health. "If I fight with them again in the future, you can just hide in the pond. I'll just tear the roof off the Shin family's house. I'll just put the roof back on." Grandpa Shin smiled weakly. Huang Yu sat at the side and cried quietly. Mu Chi-Chi was really a sentimental child. Compared to her, Shin Chan and his family seemed to be heartless. Fortunately, Grandpa Shin knew that he would be treated sincerely by his granddaughter if he could tell right from wrong. Otherwise, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Just wait and see. That family is still going to make trouble. Grandpa Shin understood it very well. Xing Xiao was right about something last night. He hoped that the family could be balanced. But, there would always be people who had endless desires. It was time to make a choice. Even if Shin Chan and his family were no longer part of the Shin family, he believed that Mu Chi-Chi would be able to bear the burden of being the head of the family. But, was there any relationship between her and Xing Xiao that beyond being a benefactor? Chapter 232. Tsun Suyun arranged for someone to follow Mu Chi-Chi from the school to the new house. She wanted to wait for the wild man to show up. She thought that Tsun Suyun and Shin Ruoi would restrain themselves after being taught a lesson. But she had underestimated their determination to deal with her. "The tutor I hired for you will come to your house to tutor you from tomorrow onwards." Xing Xiao took the chance to tell her when they were at home. "The security guard at the door will help you." The security guard thought that the tutor was Mu Chi-Chi's man. He pointed him out to Tsun Suyun and asked her to take a photo. He thought that the tutor was the man who lived with Mu Chi-Chi. Then, the tutor would come to her house to tutor her at a fixed time every day. Tsun Suyun thought that the tutor would come home at the same time every day. Then, she would bring Grandpa Shin to catch them in the act. As for Jing Yun, he blocked the identity of the tutor so that Tsun Suyun would not be able to find out his background. Then, he arranged for another child to tutor Mu Chi-Chi every day. So, it would not be difficult for a man and a woman to talk to each other. If Tsun Suyun dared to tell Grandpa Shin about it, she would be kicked out of the Shin family. As for the information of the villa, Xing Xiao had temporarily transferred it to Lu Wenhua's name so that he could deal with Grandpa Shin's investigation. The security guard at the entrance of the villa would cooperate with him. Tsun Suyun and Shin Ruoyi would bring Grandpa Shin to their house. Everything was ready. Tsun Suyun also got the man's photo. Not only that, she also got a photo of Mu Chi-chi and the man walking out of the villa together. Tsun Suyun thought that she would not take action immediately. She wanted to investigate the man's background first. She wanted to give Mu Chi-chi a fatal blow. She wanted Mu Chi-chi to never be able to make a comeback in front of Grandpa Shin. But she could not find anything. And because she could not find anything about the man, Tsun Suyun became even more suspicious. The more he did not want others to know about it, the more suspicious it would be. 2 days later, Grandpa Shin was discharged from the hospital. Tsun Suyun and Shin Ruoyi quietly went to the hospital to fetch Grandpa Shin. But they did not say a word during the whole process. It seemed that they had learned their lesson. But they were plotting something behind their backs. Mu Chi-chi knew what the mother and daughter were planning, and was waiting for them to make their move. But this time, the mother and daughter managed to keep their composure. Grandpa Shin also found it strange. With Tsun Suyun's personality, how could she not cry or make a fuss? One could imagine how big of a secret was hidden behind her current silence. On the night when Grandpa Shin returned to the Shin family, he told Shin Ruoyi directly at the dining table, "Old Lin came to me personally and told me about the matter between you and Lin Muven. Just let it go. That guy doesn't like you. You can't force him." "Yes, Grandpa." Shin Ruoyi was calm. Grandpa Shin stole a glance at Tsun Suyun and realized that she did not say a word. "Why aren't you speaking when it's your turn to speak? I have talked to Ruoyi about this a long time ago. We are not going to marry into the Lin family." Tsun Suyun appeared to be calm, but she was actually panicking. "I hope that you really want to understand and not do some dirty tricks behind my back." Grandpa Shin reminded him while he was eating. "Third brother, don't forget what you promised me. If this mother and daughter cause trouble in the Shin family again, please get out of the Shin family. I have accepted it. Even without you, I still have eldest brother, second brother, and youngest brother." Third brother looked at his wife and daughter and nodded. "Don't worry, father." Because he could feel that Grandpa Shin was not willing to put his energy on the mother and daughter anymore. He was completely disappointed. Tsun Suyun did not say anything. But she felt upset. She obviously hated Mu Chi-chi to the core. Shin Ruoyi wanted to tell Grandpa Shin what kind of person Mu Chi-chi was. But Tsun Suyun stopped her. "It's not the right time yet. Let's wait for Grandpa Shin to calm down first. I'm afraid that Mu Chi-chi will notice it. We can't do that. Didn't you hear what Grandpa Shin said? If we cause trouble again, he will drive me out. We will do it when he is in a better mood." Shin Ruoyi was very angry. She was filled with hatred when she thought about how she slapped her that night and how she spoke to Mu Chi-chi in the hospital. And Lin Muven. How could he choose a pair of used shoes instead of her, a pure and innocent young lady? She felt terrible when she thought about the humiliation. She needed to find a stronger backer so that those who had humiliated her would all regret it. These few days, Lin Muven tried to tease Lu Qianqian with words. But she did not respond to him. Was this little pepper really angry? Did she not want to play with him anymore? Lin Muven felt that he should give up now. Lu Qianqian's attitude was very obvious. So, there was nothing else he could do. He could only lose a friend. The filming of Reuniting the Mirror was ready. But the producer told him that the person who replaced Lu Qianqian was not going to act in the role. So, they had to find another actor. Lin Mu and wanted Lu Qianqian to act in the role again. But, according to Lu Qianqian's character, she would not return. She would not accept his invitation. After thinking about it, Lin Mu and felt strange. Why did he always try to get involved with Lu Qianqian? It was not a good sign. Then, Lin Mu and deleted Lu Qianqian's number from his phone. It was not fun to play such a dangerous game. Actually, after Lu Qianqian agreed to be Papa Lu's successor, she had to start training as a private tutor. To her, Lin Mu was just a person she knew among thousands of people. Moreover, she had her pride. Even if she had an abortion and her reputation was ruined, she would not throw herself at a man. These few days, Grandpa Shin was thinking about changing Mu Qiqi's surname. It was because Qin Suyun kept saying that Mu Qiqi did not have the same surname. He also wanted Mu Qiqi to return to the family. So, Grandpa Shin discussed it with the Shin family at the dining table. Shin Jinyun and his family did not have any objection. They felt that it was reasonable. But Qin Suyun and the others had different opinions. If they changed Mu Qiqi's surname, it seemed that Shin Ruoyi would have to give way to Mu Qiqi from now on. She would have to give up her position as the eldest daughter of the Shin family. So, Qin Suyun did not look happy. But, she held it in. Chapter 233. I don't mind. Qin Suyun quickly expressed her attitude. Although you don't mind, I don't think so. Dad, I can't do anything if you say so. Qin Suyun took the opportunity to leave the dining table. She had not found a chance yet. If she found one, she would let everyone see how shameless and audacious Mu Qiqi was in the outside world. Dad, Suyun did not say anything. Moreover, you don't have to be so aggressive just because of Mu Qiqi. Shin Qianqian could not stand it anymore. He put down the bowl that he just picked up. This is my home. I can force whoever I want. Shin Qianqian had no choice but to leave the table. He could not stay in the house anymore because of the current atmosphere. When Shin Qianqian returned to his room, Qin Suyun was wiping her tears. She cried even harder when she saw her husband. What does your father mean? Since he asked us to come back, he treated us with such an attitude. Is he trying to force us to leave so that Mu Qiqi can come in openly? Isn't he still angry? Does your father know what Mu Qiqi has done outside? Qin Suyun asked Shin Qianqian loudly. Lower your voice. Do you really want to be kicked out of the Shin family? Qin Suyun stopped talking. She could not stand it anymore. She wanted Mu Qiqi to die a horrible death tomorrow. She did not believe that Grandpa Shin would remain indifferent when he saw Mu Qiqi's debauchery. So, she had to hold it in for the time being. Mu Qiqi had been waiting for Qin Suyun to make a move. But this time, Qin Suyun was really patient. She was the one who lost her patience. Xing Xiao saw that Mu Qiqi was restless at home. So, he held her butt and spanked her. Are you still itchy now? Mu Qiqi covered her butt and looked at Xing Xiao sadly. Xiao Xiao, I will be very anxious if I don't let this matter go. Shin Jianchuan was right. Grandpa must be suspicious about her relationship with Xiao Xiao. He just did not want to believe it or prove it. She wanted Qin Suyun to jump into the trap as soon as possible so that Grandpa Shin would be at ease. My mom asked me to take you to Xing Mansion. Do you want to go? However, Xing Xiao did not answer her about Qin Suyun. Instead, he threw another bomb at her. Meeting the Xing family. Mu Qiqi promptly straightened up from the sofa and stared at Xing Xiao. I don't think I'm ready. I don't know the Xing family at all, and there are so many people in your family. Xing Xiao chuckled when he saw how nervous she was. You'll have to go in sooner or later, and since it's my mother's arrangement, you won't meet too many Shings. It's just that she wants to go to the resort and find someone to play with. Since you're so nervous, I'll ask Jingyun to reject her. But will she be unhappy? You're busy with your studies. That's the best excuse. With that, Xingxiao stroked Mu Qiqi's hair to comfort her. This little one was nervous at the mention of the Xing family. It seemed that the Xing family was giving her a lot of pressure. They remained silent for a long time. Then, Mu Qiqi raised her head and looked at Xingxiao. I'm a coward, aren't I? Xingxiao did not say anything. He hooked his arm around her neck and pulled her closer to him. Then, he kissed her. An ugly daughter-in-law will have to meet her in-laws sooner or later, but the chances of your family acknowledging our relationship is only 1 in 100,000. Mu Qiqi retorted. If that's the case, do you still want to be with me? Xingxiao raised his eyebrows. I won't leave you. Xingxiao could not bear to tease her anymore. He pressed her head into his arms. I don't need anyone's permission to be with you. Mu Qiqi could not help but smile when she heard that. She felt so sweet in her heart. In order to make the plan go smoothly tomorrow, Qin Suyun tossed and turned in bed for the whole night. She could not sleep well. It was because it was a life-and-death battle for her and Shenrui. If Mu Qiqi did not die, they would die. To ensure that Grandpa Shin would catch Mu Qiqi and that man together, Qin Suyun asked the student to wait outside the villa. Once the man was back, she would send a text message to the Shin family and inform them to go and watch the show. If you want to see Mu Qiqi's real face, go to XX Place, XX Villa. The show is going on. Everyone in the Shin family received the text message, including Shenrui and Qin Suyun. Father. I suddenly received this. Huang Yu rushed to the study room and looked for Grandpa Shin. Grandpa, I received it too. Shenlin passed the text message to Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin's face darkened. He immediately thought of Qin Suyun and her mother. But they received the text message too. Qin Suyun, have you forgotten what I told you before? You are stirring up trouble again. Father, I received the same text message too. Don't accuse me without any reason. Isn't it the same as how we wronged Mu Qiqi the other day? I don't know who sent it. Qin Suyun explained immediately. If someone did not do it on purpose, how could they know our phone number? How would I know? I received it too. Father, I think we should go and have a look at this place first. Huang Yu stopped Grandpa Shin from quarreling with Qin Suyun. She was afraid that Grandpa Shin would fall sick again. Moreover, we have to see Mu Qiqi first before we can verify what is going on. The old man snorted loudly. The intimate photos of Mu Qiqi and the man in the mobile phone were very obvious. This kind of bait was good enough. Huang Yu, arrange a car immediately. We'll go and take a look at Qiqi now. Grandpa Shin said to Huang Yu. Then, he turned around. But, if this is just a rumor, then no matter who did it, I'll put the blame on you. Grandpa Shin pointed at Qin Suyun and said. But, if you're trying to stir up trouble again, then no matter who did it, I'll put the blame on you. Qin Suyun and Shenrui looked at each other. As long as they could lure Grandpa Shin to find out Mu Qiqi's real face, they would be successful. She did not believe that Grandpa Shin would still have the mood to trouble her when he knew that he was fooled by Mu Qiqi. Huang Yu looked at Qin Suyun meaningfully. It was too obvious. She did not believe that the mother and daughter were innocent. But, she believed in Mu Qiqi's character. She wanted to see the mother and daughter being chased out of the Shin family once again. Therefore, the group of people, each with their own thoughts, set off towards the villa in a grandiose manner. Chapter 234. When they arrived at the villa, the security guard at the entrance stopped the two cars. After all, it was a private house. It was not a public place. Shenlin was in charge of communicating with the security guard. He placed his right hand on the security guard's shoulder and pointed at Grandpa Shin in the car. He said to the security guard, "I'll tell you his identity secretly. Send someone to verify it. Then, tell me which villa this girl lives in. We're going to see her. She's Grandpa Shin's granddaughter. Now that she's in danger, you don't want anything bad to happen to the villa when you're on duty, do you?" The security guard lowered his head and looked at Grandpa Shin through the window. He took the identity card and the phone from Shenlin and turned around to verify it. After confirming Grandpa Shin's identity, he was shocked. He quickly told Shenlin which villa Mu Chi-chi lived in. Then, he let them pass. After that, Shenlin returned to the car. But, Tsin Suyun said sarcastically, "Shenlin is so protective of Mu Chi-chi. I'm afraid that the security guard has already informed him. I don't think that Mu Chi-chi has done anything shameful. So, she won't know that we're going to the villa tonight." Shenlin explained. "But you, third aunt, someone sent us a message. He asked us to come and see Mu Chi-chi. Why do you look so excited? Is there a conspiracy behind this? Whether there is a conspiracy or not, we'll know when we go and see her. Grandpa has made it clear. If Mu Chi-chi did not spread those rumors in the message, you and Shinroi will be kicked out of the Shin family this time." Tsin Suyun was not scared. Moreover, she had followed Mu Chi-chi for a long time. If she did not have any evidence, how would she dare to lure Grandpa Shin to the villa? "You should worry about Mu Chi-chi. Brother, this has nothing to do with us," Shinroi explained to Shenlin. "We've promised Dad that we won't cause any trouble in the Shin family. So, we'll keep our promise." But, who would believe what Shinroi said? At least, second brother and his family did not believe it. Soon, the two cars found the house number of Mu Chi-chi's villa. Seeing that the lights in the villa were on, they were sure that there must be someone inside. However, whether it was Mu Chi-chi and that man, they would only know if they went in. Grandpa Shin glanced at Shenlin and signaled him to knock on the door. However, Tsin Suyun stood in front of Shenlin and stopped him. "What if he alerts Mu Chi-chi? We are already at the door. Why are you reminding me?" Although Shenlin said so, he still took 2 steps back and let Tsin Suyun knock on the door. No one knew what was going on behind the door, and whether Mu Chi-chi was living with a man. Tsin Suyun stared at Shenlin. She walked to the front of the villa and rang the doorbell. Soon, a man walked out and opened the door for the Shins. When the Shins realized that this was the man in the photo, their facial expressions changed. However, Tsin Suyun was smiling coldly and proudly. "Who are you looking for?" the man asked the Shin family curiously. "Father, did you see it? It seems that someone sent a message to us." "He is not lying. He is already in the villa. Since Mu Chi-chi is living with a man, it is impossible for her to escape from this, right?" Tsin Suyun looked at the man who was crossing his arms. He was not afraid at all when he said those sarcastic words. "May I know who you are looking for? Do you know that you are trespassing on private property?" Huang Yu glanced at Shenlin. Shenlin understood what Huang Yu meant. So, he pulled Tsin Suyun away and explained to the man, "We are Mu Chi-chi's family. We are here to see her. You are living with Mu Chi-chi. Don't you know her relationship with the Shin family?" Tsin Suyun provoked him. "You are right. A bastard and a man are a match. The man listened for a long time before he understood what Sun Suyun was talking about. He was furious. He pointed at Sun Suyun and said, "Who are you? How can you talk nonsense without knowing the truth? Don't be in a hurry to deny it. Just let us in to see what's going on." Sun Suyun raised her eyebrows. "This is a private property. I don't know how you came in. I must confirm your identity first." The man pushed his glasses up. He looked at everyone with suspicion and anger. "What else is there to confirm? This is Mu Chi-Chi's grandfather." Sun Suyun pointed at Grandpa Shin and said to the man, "The security guards let us in. What else do you have to suspect? Father, let's go in. It's better not to believe this man's words. Let me tell you, don't look down on Mu Chi-Chi. She is living with a man at the age of 18. She is the most shameless person." Grandpa Shin's face was tense. He did not say a word. No matter how Sun Suyun tried to provoke him, he did not say a word. The rest of the Shin family did not say anything either. After all, they had not seen Mu Chi-Chi yet. Sun Suyun seemed to be the one telling the story. "You can't go in." The man stretched his hand to stop Sun Suyun. But Sun Suyun pushed him away. "Go away." Then, she went into the villa first. After that, Grandpa Shin and the others followed her into the villa. But what they saw was not a scene of a man and a woman living together. It was Mu Chi-Chi and another girl of the same age. They were tutoring at home. When Mu Chi-Chi saw the Shin family, she put down the notebook in her hand and stood up. "Grandpa, why are you here?" They did not see anything unsightly between Mu Chi-Chi and a man. Instead, they saw Mu Chi-Chi was studying hard. Shouldn't it be a scene of catching an adulterer? It was fine if it was not a scene of love. But there was not even the most common smell of life. Shen Lin immediately walked in front of Mu Chi-Chi under Huang Yu's instruction. He said, "Someone is slandering you for living with a man. So, all of us came here to watch a good show. Chi-Chi, I'm going to walk around the villa now. I don't want some people to make a fuss about it." Mu Chi-Chi's eyes darkened. But she nodded. "All right." Shen Lin moved quickly. He looked around the whole place. Then, he went downstairs and told everyone, "There is nothing that belongs to a man." "Of course not. I'm their tutor." The man who was slandered immediately explained. "I come here on time every afternoon. It's not what you think. I'm going to sue you for slandering me." The tutor pointed at Sun Suyun and said loudly. "Well." Sun Suyun was dumbfounded. She looked at Shinroi. Chapter 235. Sun Suyun's palms were sweating when she saw that. Grandpa Xing's face was tense. He sat on the sofa in the living room of the villa. "Chi-Chi, tell me quickly. What is going on? Aren't you staying with your aunt in a small villa? Why do you have a house here? And you didn't tell me about it." Mu Chi-Chi listened to Huang Yu's question. She looked at Grandpa Sheng and explained to him. "This house belongs to my uncle. It's very close to Xingting University. It's convenient for me to go to school. If you don't believe me, you can check the ownership of this villa. Do I need to tell others about the things my uncle gave me? I didn't tell you because I don't think it's necessary. It's just a temporary place to stay. My uncle just let me stay here recently. Is there a need to make such a big fuss?" "I see. But someone has an ulterior motive. He thinks that you are living with a man." Huang Yu pointed at Sun Suyun with her chin. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Sun Suyun coldly. "Third aunt, I'm not living with a man. You can go around the villa and see if you can find a man." Sun Suyun was stunned. The person in front of you used to be a forensic doctor from the criminal police. He comes to teach me every day just so that I can master the practical knowledge of forensic science. Besides, there are also students from Enchanting University who attend my lessons every day. What do you think I am? Why are you asking me? I'm not the one who said that you are living with a man. Someone sent a message to all of us. Chen Suyun started to act shamelessly. She did not want to admit that it was related to her. Besides, everyone is just here to confirm it. It's great that you are innocent. Why are you still holding on to me? If that's the case, go back. It's just a false alarm. Stop. Mu Chi-Chi stopped Chen Suyun when she turned around. Do you think that you can come and go as you please in someone else's house? What else do you want me to do? Chen Suyun turned around and asked Mu Chi-Chi. I told you that it has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with you. Mu Chi-Chi sneered and stood up. I don't think so. Since you think it's related to me, then show me the evidence. Chen Suyun did not plan to admit defeat at all. Even if she did not find anything, she had used someone else's phone number to send the message. She destroyed the phone number after that. Mu Chi-Chi would not be able to find anything. You're quite confident. Don't tell me that the Shin family's information was leaked by yourself. Who has privacy now? Isn't it easy for them to investigate our family? Chen Suyun was not flustered at all. She was determined to deny everything. I was wondering why you kept stalking my classmate for the past few days. I'm afraid it's because of what you did today, right? Mu Chi-Chi took out her phone and played the video. Yesterday, the security guard at the door told me to be careful because someone was following me. He even showed me this video. I didn't know what the other party's purpose was, but... Grandpa, you came today. Whether it has nothing to do with you, third aunt, you can ask this classmate to confront her. Since you're here today, don't think that you can get out easily. Chen Suyun did not expect Mu Chi-Chi to have a video. She quickly signaled Shenrui with her eyes. Shenrui stood up for Chen Suyun when she saw that. Chi-Chi, it's not that I want to scold you. Why didn't you investigate it earlier when you knew that someone was following you? Or, are you doing this on purpose so that we will be kicked out of the Shin family? Is that what you're planning? Do you mean that I've written and directed this show just to target you and your daughter? Isn't that the case? Today, I finally know what it means to be the guilty party who accuses the victim first. I was tutoring at home when the Shin family indiscriminately barged in and said that I was living with a man. Grandfather. Don't tell me that you want to believe that mother and daughter again. Mu Chi-Chi turned around and asked Grandpa Shin. I told you that I noticed someone was following me. But I'm not sure what their purpose is. Did I purposely direct this show myself? Don't try to hurt yourself. You have to make Grandpa believe you every time. Since you can't show us any evidence, we can assume that you've planned all this. Shenrui continued to attack. Mu Chi-Chi opened her mouth and was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Chi-Chi, I got the results of the surveillance around the villa. Come home tomorrow. Mu Chi-Chi was about to retort when Su Zipei called her. Aunt, I'm in trouble now. Can you come over? Mu Chi-Chi felt wronged. Okay. Su Zipei only said one word. Then, she told Lu Wenhua, it seems that the Shin family is here. Chi-Chi needs our help. Let's go. Let's go. Lu Wenhua took his coat and left with Su Zipei. On the other hand, Shin Chi-Chi thought that Mu Chi-Chi did not have any evidence because Chen Suyun and her daughter were shameless enough to distort the truth. Dad, Mu Chi-Chi is plotting against you. Why are you all so stupid? She's just putting on a show for you. Maybe she's just taking away the things of the men in the house and pretending to be studying to deceive you. Tsun Suyun was getting more and more serious as she talked. She did not want to let go of Muchichi. Dad, anyone can see that someone wants to frame Muchichi. But she failed. So, she's trying to frame Muchichi. If Chichi was not in class but doing something else and was really misunderstood, her scheme would have succeeded. If she did not succeed, she could then turn around and accuse Chichi of framing her and chasing her away. She would be in the right anyway. Would there still be any justice? Huang Yu could not help but speak out for justice. What? Huang Yu, you're on Muchichi's side. Of course, you'll speak for her. But don't forget that Muchichi can even defeat Rong Junhan. Not to mention you. Tsun Suyun said to Huang Yu. This girl is very powerful. Dad, you should say something too. Huang Yu was worried. Shen Lin. Grandpa Shen did not say anything else. He just asked Shen Lin to bring the classmate to the villa according to the information provided by Muchichi. But Tsun Suyun stopped him. Dad, the classmate is also Muchichi's friend. What if Muchichi colluded with him to frame me? Tsun Suyun rolled her eyes. Chapter 236. Fine. Since you said that you are not slandering me, what will you say if I can show you the evidence that you and your daughter framed me? I will leave the Shen family now. I will not say a word. Tsun Suyun said confidently. You said it. Then, Muchichi turned to Grandpa Shen. Please wait for me for 10 minutes. What if you slander us? Tsun Suyun was not stupid. Since Muchichi had made a request, they wanted to get something out of it. I will leave the Shen family from now on. I will never appear in the Shen family again. You said it too. The two of them confronted each other. None of them wanted to give in. It was because Tsun Suyun did not believe that Muchichi could show any evidence. Muchichi was just playing a psychological game. She was betting on whether Grandpa Shen would believe her. They sat in the living room and waited. Muchichi asked the tutor and her classmates to go home. But the tutor did not look good after being slandered. When he left, he still said that he wanted to sue Tsun Suyun. Tsun Suyun was not afraid. She wanted to sue Muchichi. Anyway, the most important thing was to win against Muchichi. There was nothing that could not be solved with money. Everyone waited in the house. 10 minutes passed. Another 10 minutes passed. However, the evidence did not come. Tsun Suyun laughed out loud this time. Muchichi, have you used up all your tricks? I have given you 20 minutes. You still can't show me anything. Shouldn't you keep your promise and never step into the Shen family? At this moment, Su Zipei and Lu Wenhua arrived at the villa. They had a complicated expression when they saw the Shen family. Chichi, what is going on? Aunt, I will tell you everything later. But now, tell me the result of the investigation. You told me that you were being followed yesterday. So, I went to check the surveillance cameras around the villa to see if I could find any clues. Then, I found this. Su Zipei took out her phone and showed it to Muchichi. Muchichi passed the phone to Grandpa Shen after she finished reading it. This is the surveillance footage for 5 days. For the past 5 days, Tsun Suyun had been sneaking around outside the villa. It was a fact. Take a look for yourself. After Grandpa Shen finished reading it, he threw the phone to Tsun Suyun. Tsun Suyun's facial expression changed when she saw it. Don't tell me that Chichi was the one who arranged for you to stay in the villa. No, father. She's the one who framed me. Otherwise, why would she know to look for the surveillance camera? Tsun Suyun tried to argue. I don't know you at all. It was the villa's security who told Chi-Chi that someone was following her yesterday. That's why I went to the villa's security to check the surveillance footage. I wanted to see if I could find any clues. Could it be that I can predict that something like this would happen tonight? Aren't you being too unreasonable? Furthermore, even now, I still don't know what exactly happened. Everyone in the Shin family saw how Tsun Suyun was waiting for them in the villa. I was wondering why you lured everyone here. So you went to check on Chi-Chi's absence from the villa for a few days. You think that Chi-Chi is living with a man just because you saw her going in and out with a man. Tsun Suyun, are you still going to deny it? Could it be that Chi-Chi ordered you to wait outside the villa to be filmed so that you could frame yourself? Tsun Suyun did not expect that Su Zipei would send her the surveillance footage. She thought that she would succeed this time. Tsun Suyun could not deny it when she saw the footage. It was because she was the only person in the footage. There was no one else. Continue to deny it. Grandpa Shin shouted. You and your daughter are in cahoots with each other. You're so despicable. How could you put on a show for the whole night? Tsun Suyun swallowed her saliva nervously. At this moment, she could not explain herself anymore. Say it. You were so proud just now. Why can't you say anything now? Shinrui could not hold it in anymore when she saw how fierce Grandpa Shin was. She ran to him and hugged his leg. Grandpa, please forgive us. We were forced to do this. Ever since Mu Chi-Chi came, you don't even care about me. I'm so sad. That's why I did this. However, Grandpa Shin was not moved at all. He lifted his leg and flung Shinrui away. Get lost. Do you think that I will believe you now? Shinrui did not expect that Grandpa Shin would have such a big reaction. She was flung away and rolled a few times. Then, her head hit the hard corner of the coffee table. Shinrui screamed in pain. Her forehead was bruised and fresh blood was flowing out. Tsun Suyun hugged Shinrui immediately when she saw that. My poor daughter. Someone, please save my daughter. No one can save you tonight. This time, whether third brother divorces you or not, there's no place for you in the Shin family. This time, you'd better get lost. Don't let me see you again. Grandpa Shin had made up his mind. This time, he had made up his mind to get rid of the mother and daughter. Someone, please save us. Shin Lin, when you get home, throw all the belongings of third brother and his family out of the Shin family. Also, everything in the Shin family, especially my will not have a single cent of you and your daughter. Don't even think about it in this lifetime. At that moment, Tsun Suyun could not hear anything. Because she knew that she had failed. Mom, I'm in pain. It's so painful. Be good. Let's go and find your father. Let's go and find your father. Tsun Suyun got up from the ground. Then, she carried Shinrui and left the villa. It was because she was too ashamed to stay there. Grandpa Shin did not stop her. Anyway, it was a fact that the three of them had been kicked out of the Shin family. Suddenly, the atmosphere became quiet. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shin worriedly. Is your body okay? I have to stand up for you no matter what. I can't collapse like that like the last time. Grandpa Shin patted Mu Chi-Chi's hand and said. Grandpa, that mother and daughter have only themselves to blame. Fortunately, Mrs. Liu came in time. Otherwise, that mother and daughter would have succeeded. Huang Yu could not help but get angry when she thought of the mother and daughter's faces. Dad, don't be angry. We are not aiming for the inheritance. We will take good care of you. Grandpa Shin nodded. It was a tiring night. Chi-Chi, I'm going home. You, calm down. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shen worriedly. Then, she sent the Shen family to the villa. Su Zipei looked at Grandpa Shen leaving. Then, she grabbed Mu Chi-Chi's hand. Let's go home. Aunt, did I lie to Grandpa? That mother and daughter had ill intentions, so they deserve to end up like this. You don't have to take it to heart. As for how the old man will react when he finds out about you in the future, you'll have to bear with it because this is your choice. Mu Chi-Chi nodded. I understand. It's a pity that I can't see their luggage being thrown out. Chapter 237. On the way back, the Shins did not say a word, especially Grandpa Shin. He seemed to have aged a lot. He was not as kind and humorous as he used to be. Too many things had happened recently and he was exhausted. Father, let me handle these things in the future. Since Shenlin has not joined the army, let him accompany you fishing more often. Also, let Chi-Chi come here often. Grandpa Shin held Shenlin's hand and nodded. You can't be missing anymore. I can't do anything about those two people. Don't worry, Grandpa. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll be a decent person in the future. Shenlin told Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin was relieved. He went back to his room to rest after they returned to the Shin family. At the same time, Shenlin threw third brother's family's belongings out of the Shin family's door. This time, they would never be able to return to the Shin family. Third brother knew about it on his way home. He also knew about the ending of his family. It was a promise he made. So, he had no choice but to leave the Shin family. It was all Tsun Suyun's fault. He did not want his luggage now. He needed to find a house for them first. Then, he went to the hospital. Shen Ruoi's head was injured. She was bandaged now. Third brother sighed when he saw the mother and daughter hugging each other and crying bitterly. How could he blame others for his own death? Rong Junhan was defeated by Mu Chi-Chi. How dare you overestimate yourself? I've told you to keep a low profile. Look at what happened. It's only been a few days and you've caused trouble again. This time, there will be no place for us in the Shin family's living room. The mother and daughter cried bitterly. At the same time, their hearts were filled with hatred. Shen Rui was hurt. She even swore in her heart that she would be outstanding one day. Then, she would make the Shins regret for bullying them. She would do it. In the villa, Mu Chi-Chi was taking out Xiao Xiao's belongings from the warehouse one by one. She put them back in their original places. When Xing Xiao returned home from Huangyao, he saw Mu Chi-Chi was absent-minded. He pressed her against the wall and looked into her eyes. Why? Are you unhappy that third brother and his family have left? Of course I'm happy, but I also feel that I'm too weak to admit our relationship in front of my grandfather. Mu Chi-Chi looked into Xing Xiao's eyes. That's why I have to hide your things. I can't let anyone find them. I think I hate myself for being like this. You are the crown prince of Huangyao. You are in love, but you can't make it public. You have to accompany me in such a childish secret relationship. I like it. Xing Xiao lifted Mu Chi-Chi's chin and said with a teasing smile, whether it's in the open or in the dark, it's more interesting when I'm with you. The form doesn't matter. Xiao Xiao, all right, it's such a good day, don't say such depressing words. Or do you want me to punish you so that you'll shut up? Mu Chi-Chi immediately covered her mouth. I haven't showered yet. I'm covered in dust, go wash up. I want to see you in bed in 10 minutes. Mu Chi-Chi covered her mouth and quickly moved away from Xing Xiao's arms, leaving Xing Xiao with the burden of tidying up the place. Since she's the little thing I like, I have to spoil her till the end. Grandpa Shin was the only one who felt bad that night. It was not because of Muchichi. It was because of his daughter-in-law and granddaughter. So, his daughter-in-law and granddaughter were such evil people. Did he not teach them well enough? Grandpa Shin sighed when he thought of that. And early the next morning, he called Xing Xiao. When are you free? Have some tea with Grandpa Shin. Xing Xiao was holding Muchichi in his arms. His eyes darkened when he heard that. Tomorrow. Then, Grandpa Shin, prepare the tea. Be punctual. Muchichi seemed to hear her grandfather's voice. She quickly sat up from the bed. Xing Xiao told her, your grandfather is still suspicious. He's still suspicious. So, he asked me to test it out. Then that's not something you should worry about. Go wash up. I'll send you to school. Xing Xiao did not want to put the pressure on his little one. So, he slapped her but early in the morning. Muchichi pouted and got off the bed. Suddenly, she had an impulse. When she saw Xing Xiao following her into the bathroom, she stopped brushing her teeth and said, why don't we tell him? I have my own plans. Xing Xiao told Muchichi. Then, how will you answer Grandpa? Actually, Grandpa Shin had been suspicious. It meant that he was mentally prepared. So, it was better to see how Grandpa Shin would react before speaking. Perhaps to stop Muchichi from asking any more questions, Xing Xiao picked her up and put her on the sink. Then, he took away her toothbrush. Xiao Xiao, I'll press you every time you ask. Let's see how much energy you have. Could Muchichi say that she regretted it? It was early in the morning. She had to wear a scarf to class. Otherwise, the marks would be seen. He was such an annoying man. The departure of Cun Suyun and her daughter did not affect the lives of the Shin family much. But Huang Yu was more filial to Grandpa Shin now. Because she knew that when Grandpa Shin calmed down, he would definitely miss Shin Rui. At the very least, she was his granddaughter who grew up in the Shin family. He still had feelings for her. So, she asked Shin Lin to stay with Grandpa Shin. Mom, Grandpa asked Uncle Xing to meet him. Do you know why? Huang Yu shook her head when she heard Shin Lin's question. I don't know. Maybe, he has something to discuss with him. On the other hand, Lin moved and passed by the martial arts club where Lu Qianqian worked out in the morning. Suddenly, he thought of the time when he was with Lu Qianqian. This little pepper was really annoying. She said that she would not contact him anymore. Thinking of this, Lin moved and said to the driver, stop the car here. I want to go out and have a look. The driver nodded and stopped the car by the roadside. Lin moved and could not help but go to the martial arts club. Then, he saw Lu Qianqian practicing punching sandbags in the club. This damned woman was really ruthless. Since you don't contact me, you should not come to this martial arts club. Lin moved could not help but walk to Lu Qianqian. He crossed his arms and leaned against her sandbag. Do you really mind what others say about you? Don't you care? Lu Qianqian glanced at him. Of course, she was panting because she was punching sandbags. I don't care, I care. Lu Qianqian pushed him away. You are blocking my practice. I will continue to be your training partner. Bastard, I am already avoiding you. Can't you see it? Lu Qianqian said angrily. We are not on the same path. Moreover, don't come here anymore. Is this your family's club? You are right. This martial arts club is indeed owned by my family. Chapter 238. Aren't you afraid that people will laugh at you for being with a second-hand woman? Lu Qianqian stopped and looked at Lin Mu and with sweat all over her face. Perhaps, deep down in her heart, she wanted to have a friend too. But, if the friend was different from Mu Qiqi, she might be defeated by the rumors at any time. She could be crushed by rumors at any time, so she would only increase the burden on each other by making friends with such a person. Lin Mu and looked at Lu Qianqian and said nothing. If that's the case, don't embarrass us. Don't come here anymore. Then, Lu Qianqian turned around and left. But, Lin Mu and did not chase after her. Because he was not prepared for it. He never thought that he would have to risk offending his family just to make a friend. Lu Qianqian's decision was the right one. Since he could not stand other people's opinions, he should stop as soon as possible. But, Lin Mu and felt uncomfortable. Since he had deleted someone else's number, he should be more decisive. He would be looked down upon by others if he was so wishy-washy. Lu Qianqian hid behind him and watched Lin Mu and leave the martial arts club. Then, she told the receptionist, if this man comes again, refund him all his fees. Ask him to find another place to train. Yes, Mississippi, the receptionist agreed with Lu Qianqian. Because the martial arts club belonged to the Lu family. On the other hand, Chen Suyun and her family finally felt that they had nothing after leaving the Shen family. With Shen Qianqian's current status, although they were not poor, their life was totally different from when they were in the Shen family. They did not save much money in the past because of their extravagant spending. Now, when they needed to use their money, they realized that their pockets were empty. Shen Ruoyi had changed from the eldest daughter of the Shen family to the daughter of an ordinary family. She did not have a good life anymore. It would not be easy for her to go abroad anymore. Shen Ruoyi was not satisfied when she thought about it. She must find a rich husband so that everyone in the Shen family would look at her differently. Stop daydreaming. With our current status, how could the young masters of those clans still take a liking to you? Unless you want to be their mistress. Chen Suyun's words had awakened Shen Ruoyi. She was right. As a mistress, she could do whatever she wanted with the help of those men. She was still so young. She couldn't lift her hands or carry a load. She needed a man to dote on her. Of course, Shen Laosan and Chen Suyun did not know what their daughter was thinking. They did not know that she had gone crazy from wanting to take revenge on Mu Qiqi. In fact, Mu Qiqi was distracted in school for the whole day. Grandpa Shen had invited Xiao Xiao for tea. She did not know what Xiao Xiao was planning. She also did not know what Grandpa Shen had discovered. She wished that she could grow to 20 years old in one night. That way, she could share Xiao Xiao's burden and not let him carry everything. It was obvious that she was the one who had expressed her love first. But now, it seemed that Xiao Xiao was the one who had to deal with it, be it hiding it or making it public. She hated herself for being like this. Her lover was her own, but when faced with the obstruction of the outside world, she was powerless. Mu Qiqi called Lu Qianqian because she needed someone to support her. Lu Qianqian did not know what to do after hearing about her predicament. Qiqi, you see my situation now. I'm being mocked by others. If I were you, I would not be willing to make it public. Although I know that you are brave, you should know that gossip is a fearful thing. You might drown in their saliva. Listen to me. Leave everything to the crown prince. Don't be the one who makes it public. Mu Qiqi did not answer Lu Qianqian after listening to her. But there was a clear voice in her heart reminding her that she had made her choice. No matter how difficult it was, she should overcome it. So, what was she worried about? With such courage, Mu Qiqi hung up the phone in a hurry. She let go of the burden in her heart. No matter what happened, she was prepared to face it together with Xing Xiao. If that was the case, what was there to be afraid of? That night, Xingxiao could feel that Muqiqi was in a good mood. So, he purposely pressed her on the desk when she was writing her report. Seeing that you are so happy, I can't help but want some dessert. There's some in the fridge. I'll get it for you, you're my dessert. With that, Xingxiao pushed her blouse up and smiled playfully. Muqiqi was stunned. Then, she struggled. Xiao. I haven't written my report yet. Why do you need to write a report when you have me? With that, Xingxiao threw Muqiqi's report in the middle of the study. Then, he took off his shirt and pressed her down. Muqiqi wanted to say something. But, her mouth was sealed by his kiss. She did not have the chance to speak. They kissed passionately. Then, they began to make love in the study. At the critical moment, Xingxiao stopped. He deliberately hooked Muqiqi's chin and asked, "Do you still want me to stop?" Muqiqi took the chance and bit his shoulder. "You are the worst. You are teasing me. Do you want it?" "No." Muqiqi hugged his neck and answered embarrassedly. Xingxiao picked Muqiqi up. But, the two of them were joined together. Step by step, he brought the little one back to the bedroom. Because tonight, the little one would not have any freedom. The moment Muqiqi was put on the big bed, a thought flashed through her mind. It's over. I will definitely fail my subjects after the semester ends. Who asked her to resist the temptation of Xingxiao's charming body? But, the next morning, when she woke up, she saw the report Xingxiao had written for her on the bedside table. Go to school by yourself. I am going to the Shen family. Muqiqi looked at the report Xingxiao had written. She could not help but mutter. Was there anything this man could not do? A man who graduated from science and engineering was even more professional than a medical student like her. But, when she thought about Xingxiao going to the Shen family, she could not help but feel nervous. She did not know what Grandpa would say to this man. Early in the morning, Grandpa Shen had prepared the best tea in the Shen family's fish pond. He had also put the fishing rod in place. He was waiting for Xingxiao to come and answer the questions in his heart. Xingxiao arrived at the Shen family at 8:00 sharp. He walked past the Shen family side courtyard and went straight to the place where Grandpa Shen was resting. He sat down on the chair he had prepared for him. Grandpa Shen poured a cup of tea for Xingxiao and put it in front of him. It's rare that you can take the time to meet me, the Crown Prince of Huangyao. Chapter 239. Who owned the villa near Xingting University before it was transferred to Lu Wenhua? Grandpa Shen went straight to the point and asked Xingxiao. Xingxiao finished his tea and put down the teacup. He stopped smiling and answered Grandpa Shen directly, "It's mine." Did you already know that third brother and his family wanted to frame Qiqi? Yes, I did. Xingxiao answered honestly. Qiqi moved into that villa a long time ago. Can you tell me the exact time? August. Grandpa Shen's hands started to tremble. He realized that Xingxiao did not come here just to brush him off. He answered every question very seriously. Then, did you, also, that is my and Qi-er's home? Xingxiao answered the question that Grandpa Shen wanted to ask the most. Grandpa Shen dropped the teacup on the floor when he heard that. He put his hands on the table and closed his eyes tightly. Xiao Qi and I were together before her identity was exposed. What else do you want to ask? Grandpa Shen did not ask anything. He flipped the table. It was so loud that the servants of the Shen family and Shen Lin were alerted. You are her uncle. You are 1 generation older than her. She is only 18 years old. How could you, just... Xing Xiao, I've always thought that you're the one with the most sense of propriety. You look unruly on the surface, but you would never do such a thing. But now, I'm really disappointed. Aren't you ruining Chi-Chi's reputation by being together with her? Do you want her to be laughed at like Lu Qianqian? Grandpa Shen was very agitated. But Xing Xiao was very calm. Even though he could not drink the tea anymore, he still answered Grandpa Shen clearly, I want to marry her, you. What do you have to marry her? Will the Xing family acknowledge her identity? You know very well what I have to marry Chi-Chi. I have never thought of hiding it from anyone. It's just that Chi-Chi did not want to make it public. That's why I did not tell anyone about it. It's not because I am afraid of the Xing family or the Shen family. Old Shen, you should know very well that no one can stop me from doing what I want to do. I can't accept it. How can I accept it? Grandpa Shen kept shaking his head. When I entered the house 2 nights ago, although there was nothing of yours, I could feel that Chi-Chi was not the only one living in that house. I became suspicious, so I went to investigate the house and found out that it had just been transferred. I should have known, I should have admitted it long ago, but the more afraid I am, the more you will deal me a fatal blow. 8th brother, I can't face you in the future. Grandpa Shen looked at Xing Xiao's red eyes. He was not just angry. He felt humiliated and broke down. His 2 granddaughters. 2 of them. It doesn't matter. I'll still marry her. Grandpa Shen was ashamed and angry. But when Xing Xiao left, the Shen family was in an uproar, especially Huang Yu. When she found out about this, she was so shocked that she could not recover from it for a long time. Therefore, since Grandpa Shen entered the study room and announced that he would not see anyone, Huang Yu pestered Shenlin and asked, what else did you hear? Uncle Xing said that he wants to marry Chi-Chi. Oh my God, Mu Chi-Chi is too daring. Huang Yu covered her mouth. But as far as I know, they were together before Chi-Chi's identity was exposed. Shenlin said to Huang Yu. So, they might not have thought that such a situation would happen. They kept it a secret until now because they were afraid that Grandpa would be sad. I know Chi-Chi's temper. If she had a better way, she would not do this. But, she is only 18 years old and she is already married to Xing Xiao. Moreover, she is from the Xing family. Moreover, they are from the same generation. Do you think it's strange that your grandpa would agree to it so easily? Huang Yu sighed. I think so too. I'm afraid that Grandpa will never be able to accept it, since Suyun's family must have never thought that Xing Xiao is Xiao Qi's. Shen Ruoyi has been thinking about it for a long time. Huang Yu glanced at Grandpa Shen's room. Then, she told Shenlin, you should take care of your grandpa these few days. Don't let him be angry. As for the rest, we can't help Chi-Chi. I know, Mom. Chi-Chi has really planted a super bomb in the Shen family. But, you don't object to it, don't you? Shenlin did not hear that Huang Yu was blaming Mu Chi-Chi from her tone. Why should I object to it? Shen Rui is delusional. But, Chi-Chi and Xing Xiao are in love with each other. How can it be the same? Moreover, although they are not the same generation, they are not related by blood. Other than your grandpa, who else in the family would really care about the generation? Most importantly, I understand Chi-Chi. When she was at her wit's end, it was Xing Xiao who held her back. I'm not surprised that she likes Xing Xiao because of this relationship. Otherwise, why would she tattoo his name on her ear? Shenlin nodded. When it came to love, wasn't it all about being willing to do anything? He treated Yu Jing like that in the past. Now, wasn't Mu Chi-Chi the same as him? Soon, Mu Chi-Chi found out from Xing Xiao that Grandpa Shen had exposed their relationship. So, she was restless. She called Huang Yu immediately. Your grandpa locked himself in the study for the whole day. He did not eat or drink. It seems that he is really angry. No one in the Shin family dares to persuade him. You know your grandpa's temper. Xiao Qi, this matter has really blown your grandpa's mind. He loves you so much and trusts you. He must be very sad now. But, second aunt doesn't think that you did anything wrong. Who can say who is right or wrong in this kind of thing? Thank you, second aunt. I'll come and see grandpa later, said Muchichi to Huang Yu. Okay. But you must be prepared. Grandpa might not let you go so easily. He might even force you to make a decision, I know. The matter had been exposed. What good would it do to say more? She was not afraid. She was just worried about Grandpa's health. That was all. So, during the lunch break, Muchichi went to the hospital to visit Shin Jianchuan. When Shin Jianchuan saw her, he could guess what happened. Did Grandpa find out? Muchichi nodded. Yes. Chapter 240. How could she not care? If it's the Mu family, I really don't care. But I care about you and Grandpa. Muchichi held Shin Jianchuan's hand and said, But Dad, I can't lose Xiao Xiao no matter what. He is my life. Muchichi's eyes turned red when she said that. Maybe you think that I'm exaggerating. I'm just an 18-year-old kid. She said that because she's young and naive. However, I know better than any of you what kind of place he holds in my heart. Even if I'm struck by lightning in the future, I will accept it. Dad will always be on your side. Xiao Qi, be brave. Shin Jianchuan held Muchichi's hand. It was the only thing he could do for Muchichi. That was to cheer for her. When Muchichi left, he asked the nurse who was standing beside him, Can I leave the hospital? How can you leave the hospital? What if it's just for a while? The nurse thought for a while and said, I'll think of a way for you. Because he knew Grandpa Shin's temper very well. Muchichi would definitely be wronged. So, it was time for him to perform as a father. Muchichi did not tell Xing Xiao that she was going to the Shin family. But, according to Xing Xiao's understanding of her, she drove straight to the Shin family after she left Huang Yao. At that moment, Muchichi was kneeling outside Grandpa Shin's study. Huang Yu and the others stood aside helplessly. After a while, Grandpa Shin finally opened the door. He looked at Muchichi coldly and said, Follow me. They arrived at the ancestral hall of the Shin family one after another. Muchichi only knew that there was an ancestral hall in the Shin family. Tell me in front of all the ancestors. Did you and Xing Xiao lie to me from the beginning? Grandpa, apart from my relationship with Xiao Xiao, we didn't lie to you about anything. Grandpa Shin took out the wooden stick that he used to hit Shin Ruoi the other day. He pointed it at Muchichi. Do you know how proud I am to see you? I love you so much. I want to give you the whole Shin family. But what about you? Not only did you live with a man at the age of 18, he's also a member of the Xing family. He's your uncle. How am I supposed to accept this, girl? Since you've come back today, and you're here in front of all the ancestors, tell me, do you want Xing Xiao or me, your grandfather? I really can't live with Xing Xiao awkwardly anymore. I've let the Xing family down. So, give me an answer. Give me a choice. Do you want Xing Xiao or grandfather? Tell me. If you choose Grandpa, then cut off all ties with Xing Xiao. From now on, we will never mention this matter again. I will pretend that nothing happened. But if you choose Xing Xiao, then the Shin family will pretend that you never appeared. I will pretend that I don't have a granddaughter like you. Mu Chi-Chi looked at Grandpa Shin with a firm and unquestionable gaze. I choose Xing Xiao. Hearing this, Grandpa Xing was shocked and hit her with a stick. You don't even think about it. Do you really want to marry into the Xing family that much? Mu Chi-Chi was secretly hurt, but she did not change her answer. I choose Xing Xiao. Grandpa, I can do anything for you, except leaving Xing Xiao. If you still care about your granddaughter's life, don't force me to choose. Because Xing Xiao is my life. You don't know how much a desperate girl loves and appreciates that person when she's saved. He saved my life. He gave me my life. Everything I have, including the fact that I can kneel here now, is because I have Xing Xiao. He's very important to me. He's more important than myself. Grandpa Shin hit Mu Chi-Chi again when he heard this. He was anxious. You're so stubborn. Grandpa, this is it. I'll follow Xing Xiao for the rest of my life. Whether you agree or not, this is my answer. My saliva can drown you. I'm not afraid of anything. Mu Chi-Chi replied with tears in her eyes. If that's the case, you must be like Shinrui. Get out of the Shin family. The further the better. I'll pretend that I don't have you as my granddaughter. Even if you're attacked by the Xing family in the future, I won't acknowledge you as my granddaughter. After Mu Chi-Chi heard this, she kowtowed to Grandpa Shin 3 times. Grandpa, please take care of yourself. Grandpa Shin did not expect that Mu Chi-Chi would make such a decision without any hesitation. He felt sad and angry at the same time. Mu Chi-Chi was already a part of the Shin family. How could he get rid of her? If this matter were to spread and the Xing family came looking for Mu Chi-Chi, would he be able to deny it? How could he say that Mu Chi-Chi was not a member of the Shin family? Who would believe that? But, it was worse than death for him to accept it. My Chi-Chi, Mu Chi-Chi's steps were firm. She had to do it without any hesitation. She must give Grandpa Shin the most accurate answer about Xing Xiao. She would not compromise at all. She could do anything for Grandpa Shin. But, she would not give in to Xing Xiao. Chi-Chi. Huang Yu quickly helped her when she saw her. Are you alright? Grandpa, please take care of me. Mu Chi-Chi said to Huang Yu. Just take it that I'm not filial. After that, Mu Chi-Chi was about to walk out of the Shin family. But, Grandpa Shin shouted at her from behind. Come back, you wicked girl. I'll give you time to break up with Xing Xiao slowly. I won't force you, Grandpa, you're forcing me. Mu Chi-Chi turned around and said to Grandpa Shin, because I won't break up with him. I've already given in. What else do you want me to do? Obviously, Grandpa Shin did not want to lose his granddaughter. But, he could not accept the fact that his nephew had become his grandson-in-law. At the same time, Xing Xiao's car had entered the Shin family's courtyard. He saw Mu Chi-Chi and the others at the entrance of the living room. He went straight to them. His face darkened when he saw Mu Chi-Chi holding her shoulder. Did you get beaten? Mu Chi-Chi shook her head. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Chi-Chi. Then, he looked up at Grandpa Shin and said, Uncle Shin, I've been raising her since she was 17 to 19. I have custody of her too. I want her to be my wife. None of you can stop me. Xiao Xiao, lawless. Grandpa Xing snorted coldly at Xing Xiao after hearing that. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.